Don't forget you to meet your.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are we are live, and it is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve to everyone.
Happy
And
New Year.
we have some amazing guests here for you. Um, yeah. So it's kind of funny how we decided to do this. Actually, I wouldn't have even done this had it not been for my amazing co-host Jack White, because it was all his idea on actually Christmas Day. You wanna tell them about that, Jack?
I don't really remember too much about that, Iris. How did it happen?
Well, okay, so you suggested it, and I was like, "Wait, are you sure you want to do that?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, okay, but I'll need a co-host." And I was like, "Do you want to be the co-host?" And he was like, "Yeah, I could do that." And I was like, "Okay, well then, sure. I guess that could be fun for something for all of us to get to know each other a little better at WAC and." Um, all the different artists to kind of talk about the stuff they're doing and that sort of thing. And then the next day he was like, wait, this was my idea?
It was Christmas Day, guys. I'd had a few jars. I don't recollect the exact details of the conversation. So, but yeah, and then I was like, holy hell, what?
Yep. All right, so we kind of wanted to just do this so that we can all get a little bit familiar with each other here in the White Art Collective community. We can talk a little bit about our work. We can talk about the things that we've accomplished the past year. We can even go into the past decade, since we are going to be starting a new decade here soon. And then also just like about our goals for going forward and what maybe the projects and stuff we're working on. And just how I don't know, we can kind of talk about so many different things. So it's up to the guests. And if you guys have any questions in the chat that you'd like to ask any of our guests, feel free to do so. And we'll try to make sure we stay up on that, and we'll definitely try to answer those too. So having said that, I think we should go ahead and bring on some guests. What do you think, Jack?
I think we should maybe get Mama on.
All right. Yeah. All right, so here is not Mama, by the way.
Oh, can you tell it's me?
I don't know if I can recognize you.
Well, we all have the same glasses and noisemakers, so I must be in the right place.
I think so. Yeah, someone really special made those for us, by the way.
Oh my gosh! The dumber the costume, the better. In my opinion. Hey guys, so here we are. Happy New Year. Jack White, don't you live in the future? Isn't it already 2020 where you are?
It is. We're already in 2020.
All right. What's it like,
Happy
man,
New
from
Year,
the future?
Awesome. It's lit.
Awesome. Already, man. It only takes a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Right. What's it like on the other side?
On the other side of 2019 to 2020. No, yeah, that's pretty cool. Hey guys, thanks for having me on, because I don't really do anything else on New Year's Eve except just sort of hang out and wish I was on a WAC Pack stream. So this is you're making my night. You are making my night. Oh, and hey guys, me and the horse wrote a little Happy New Year song. It's like 25 seconds long. I know this isn't a live stream and I really don't want to get you shut down. But can we quick play it?
Yes, please.
Can you hear him?
I can.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think I'm ready.
You're going to sing.
I'm singing?
You're singing.
Oh, I'm singing. Okay, I'm ready. Happy New Year, we're banned again. Happy New Year, use a VPN. The truth sounds a lot like hate to people who hate the truth. Happy New Year, we're banned again. Happy New Year to all our friends. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, yeah. Ooh, there it is. There it is. Happy New Year from the Mamas and the Pepes, ladies and gentlemen. Are we still live, or did we get the plug? Are we still live?
Yeah.
We're still live. That was amazing. And very, very truthful and honest. And gosh, that was super deep. I loved it.
Yeah, we only sing from the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
all from the heart. Hey, so you guys were saying that part of your stream tonight, Hiraeth and Jack, were to talk about like your new projects and stuff. So I'm gonna like pretend that I'm the host for a few minutes and ask you guys. So Hiraeth, what's your new project? Hey, I saw you up on Liberplay. Am I saying that right, or is it Liberplay?
Well,
Liberplay.
I think Liberplay. I don't know.
Liberplay?
Yeah,
Like
I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
But tell me, because they did like a write-up about you and stuff.
Yeah, they're super nice. And they're trying to do, as far as I know, they're doing their own sort of platform. It's kind of like, what's it called? Spotify.
Okay.
And I think that so as a listener, you can hear a certain amount for free, but then it's like a paid listening thing where you can listen to all your favorite artists and stuff. And they do not ban based on speech or anything like that. So,
nice.
They're completely, I guess that's where their name comes from, is from my guess, Liberty, like liberty,
sure,
free speech, that sort of thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I actually got in contact with them through Lila and John.
Okay.
I got in contact with them through email, and they were super, super nice. I just gave them like the link to my Bandcamp where you can upload your stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you on Liberplay," and then they put it on there. And yeah, I think it would be a really great thing to get started, because the more we can have these like platforms, we can start these on our own, the better off we will be, because that way when we get banned and stuff, it's not like a total loss, like, you know what I mean? Because
right.
As time goes on, YouTube and all these other kinds of like big corporate, social media type services are going to be more and more strict. They're going to be more and more liberal, lefty. It's like they don't even care if there's a market in our side of things. You know what I mean? Because it is all about the market. It's about capitalism and, making money and that sort of thing. But so they don't even care if the market's there. It's more about pushing an agenda than anything, in my opinion. So
Liberplay is the way to go. I mean, with Lila on there and you there, and I'm going to write to the guy and see if he wants some mamas and pepes. I mean, I think it's a great place for, any of our WAC Pack artists or affiliates to take a look at. And so you were describing so you like test drive a song. You can listen to a little bit of it. And then if you want to add it to like a playlist or something, then they have some sort of a fee structure. So at least you can listen for free a little bit. And then
you
make
can
your
kind of
decision.
get you can get a taste for the stuff. You know what I mean?
Got
and get an idea of what you like, or if you're going to like it. And then,
awesome.
That's how you sign up. So
way to go. Jack, are you there yet? What are your plans for 2020?
Oh, jeepers.
Did you just say jeepers?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Go ahead, man.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I mean, it's been a pretty crazy year, like with WAC. We actually wanted to ask you, like, I mean, what's your sort of take on 2019, and because you guys have been there pretty much from the start, and myself and Hiraeth, I guess, came along a little bit later, and but it seems to have really sort of things have really gotten busy for us.
Yeah, they've sort of been cooking. Yeah, the fire's gotten hotter, and we started in March of 2017, and we started hanging out with the WAC Pack the next year, and
that was like late 2018, really, though, wasn't it?
It was late. Yeah, well, we were aware of the White Art Collective and of Jeff's stuff, of his stuff. Like, I really love his song "Love Your People." Then we just were like, hey, yeah, let's become resident artists. And then it wasn't that long after that Jeff invited me on the show, and it was like we had this great rapport, and I don't have any trouble talking. So I know, right? Yeah. So we became part of the WAC Pack, but it's so weird because as our creativity blossomed through that, I guess we garnered the attention of the other side, and and it's really hard for me to wrap my head around people who want you to stop doing what you're doing just because they don't like what you're saying, even if you're not like inciting violence or stuff like that. So that was I'm a sensitive type. I'm like an emotional marshmallow. So like that was really tough for me to be like, oh, you guys you can't have your YouTube anymore. And that was June. And then you can't have your Bandcamp anymore. That was a couple weeks ago. And, it was, yeah, it's been a struggle, but you know what? 2019 was some of our most creative collaborations, whether it's me and Handsome Horse, the other half of the Mamas and the Pepes, or with Zurius, or with you guys.
He's welcome to jump in here and say hello as well anytime.
Oh, well, he's back there. Do you want to say hi?
Hello.
There he is. Hi, Handsome. That's what I call him.
I'm not signed in, so I'm just listening to the stream from 5 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hang on a second.
So anyway, thanks for asking about, like how things have changed in 2019. But what I see is as the creativity ramps up and blossoms and reaches more people, and we add more artists like High Wraith and Jack White, and and all the new, was that the champagne?
Yes.
Did you guys hear that? Okay, that was pretty awesome. Right, we're attracting attention. I know, right? We're attracting attention from more of our folks too as we grow, but we're attracting the other folks too. So what we're hoping for in 2020 is creating sort of our own like home base where you can find us no matter what happens, like maybe a website or something, and also just keep growing with WAC and keep writing more music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are troopers.
One day at a time. One day at a time.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, absolutely. And just so you guys,
Jeff
I see Jeff. Oh, he's got the cool glasses and noisemaker too.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Jeff!
Happy New Year, Jeff.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Thanks for putting these glasses on, my guy Mama P, my avatar. Appreciate that. And yeah, I'll let you guys keep talking.
well, Jeff, let me ask you, since you're, the founder of the White Art Collective and WAC Pack leader, what are your plans for the future, like for 2020?
Well,
you want to tell us about that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, I think just like you guys were saying there, keep doing what we're doing. We got all kinds of shows lined up. I'm really excited about. I know that the last couple of weeks have been rough. We've had some people kind of dogging us over silly stuff, but I'm excited about DLive and other platforms because I think YouTube's a little stiff personally, and I don't even think its functionality is all that impressive. There, I said it, but I think that I think the future is elsewhere. So I know we're on YouTube right now, but hey, but yeah, and I'm excited about all the shows we got coming up. Actually, tomorrow we're premiering one of our new shows, myself and one of our lovely guests, the fedora wearing Lord Wolfshield. We're going to be doing a show tomorrow called Cinema Not Seas. We're going to be doing a movie review show, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're doing it tomorrow, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on our DLive. But yeah, we're going to start featuring also more. I want to start trying to like feature different types of artists. So we got a poetry show in the works that Nullis is going to host. I don't know if he's going to be on with us this evening, but I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also trying to figure out a visual show that we're going to feature some visual artists. And I want to do more like movie premieres and animation premieres. I've been talking to Zorchwave. He's working on some stuff. Of course, he's brilliant. Actually, Volk Dissonant just sent me some stuff. Some new stuff, so Mama should be excited about that.
Dissonant is a genius. That's really cool. New stuff from Vogue Dissonant. Well, and a lot of his stuff lends itself to being part of imagery, like the Zorchwave thing. More collaborations.
Yeah, that's another thing. More collaborations, exactly. And it's been awesome this year. Since we were kind of doing a recap of 2019. Yeah, I was thinking earlier about kind of last year. And there was a period. Actually, I posted. Because the "It's Okay to Be White" thing was trending, I posted one of our first big collab was I reached out to the Decency, who was kind of our first artist, one of the first artists that we got. And then I asked Matthew Drake, I was thinking this "It's Okay to Be White" song is amazing. This needs a video so it'll have more legs. So I reached out to Matthew Drake, who already had his thing going on, and he does those really cool, like sped up sketch videos where he draws out what's happening in the audio. And so anyway, he was up for it, which was very cool. And they did that video, and we actually got a fair amount of like negative press because the first thing that comes up is in association with the White Art Collective. So we were on, they're talking trash about us on that stuff really before we got too much love from within the movement itself. So yeah, that was, but thinking of that, I was like, man, that first good while was a slog, because we did that and that was awesome. And that video, actually, I didn't realize it was still up on YouTube, but it has like 18,000 views. So that's really cool. Good reach there. But there was a period of just like, I was like, you kind of had to put faith in that this was going to work. But this year, things have really taken off. And of course, at the end of last year, Mamas and the Pepes got involved, and then we started doing the Saturday night live stream. Here we are a year later. We're going to start introducing all kinds of new shows. We have a ton of artists. And as Jack pointed out on Unwashed, I can't keep up with it. I really can't. So like, we're going to have to continue to kind of professionalize and kind of help, bring in people who can do different little tasks like what you guys are doing right here. This is awesome that you organized this. And this is exactly the kind of thing that I was hoping for, is that people would step up and, do this, because it's just so much work to try to do all this different stuff, as you guys, of course, understand, especially while you're creating. So I'm so excited for the future with all of this stuff we got going on, all these people, and there's definitely an energy around it. So thank you guys for what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was just, this was an idea I had that I forgot. This is really, well, I guess me and Hyrith have been kind of like chatting about this for the last couple of days. But she did most of the organizing. Credit where credit is due. And, we thought it would just be nice to, have people who are contributing to the channel to just come along and say hi and have their, just a sort of meet and greet, if you like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely cool to get to know each other a little bit, and then because we're always talking to each other in text, in the chats, like for the Saturday Night Lives and stuff. So it's nice to be able to talk to some people, through voice and stuff, hear the voice, and we can talk a little bit and see what everybody's up to. And what were you going to say, Jeff? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all right. I was going to say that I think it'd be cool to maybe do something like this. I don't know, like every so often, once a month, once every couple months. Like I like for the shows to be clearly planned. Like I don't like to listen to podcasts that are like, oh, there's just people just hanging out. If that's the only thing people do, but like, so our shows can be our shows where we like really plan it, and it's clear like we're putting on a show. But I think it would be cool to do these like periodically, just to have people stop by, new artists stop by, so we can just get to talk to them, because this is cool, because there's people on here I've never even talked to, but I talk to them in text and stuff. But like
the WAC open house.
People exactly.
I say hello and then hit the road. WAC open house.
But yeah, maybe quarterly or something like that. Maybe
that would be cool.
Quarterly.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think it'll be every month. We'll get sick of it like pretty quick, but yeah.
Well, Hi Wraith, everyone who's talking right now, we've all heard. Do you have folks coming on that we haven't heard, that we've only typed to?
Absolutely. And I was just going to say, well, we do have, I would like to bring on two, first off, that I feel like kind of go together. So I wanted to first bring on Philosophicat and George Birdie, because they're both members of Uberfolk.
Do you need me to leave? Do you have enough room?
Oh, we have enough room. Yeah,
okay,
we can have 6 people on at a time.
Sweet.
We do have a full studio in the back though, which is awesome. That means we have 10 people waiting, and then we have other people waiting to come on. So that's great.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is just going to be like a comfy stream where we can all talk about our projects and talk about art and music and culture and what that means for our community, and how we can better build and network together to expand and grow and that sort of thing. So yeah, anything goes. So, but welcome George Birdie and Philosophicat. It's so great to have you both. So you're welcome to say hello. Introduce yourselves if you want.
Hello. Let's see if we can all talk in harmony instead of stepping on each other.
I know it's hard with like, there's like always a delay, right? Like a 1 or 2 second delay.
Yeah, but we're all used to playing in bands, so we should be able to play in the pocket,
Right. But welcome.
Oh, now that's getting too fancy for me.
Happy New Year, Hireth. Hello,
Happy New Year
Jack,
to you
Mama,
too.
Jeff. Kat, how you doing?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year.
guys. It's good to have you.
So it's been quite the interesting year. Looking back on it, I mean, there's been a lot of censorship stuff that's happened, and that's been really a shock to me, especially like artists like Zirius who are not even putting anything lyrical into their music, and they're still getting banned. Like the idea of that is just mind blowing. Especially back in the 90s, we used to have to always think about having 2 or 3 separate venues ready for a gig because we could never play in the first one we booked. We'd often not even bother to bring the sound system in there. It was like a decoy venue. And so it was a constant cat and mouse game to try to get a place to play. So having to move around to different platforms, it's pretty easy in comparison. So just keep rolling with it. There's always going to be a way to find a way to make dissident music.
That's a great point because with the little bit of live stuff I did back in the day as well, also in the 90s, having to move all that stuff from one place to another. Yeah, I really can't complain about having to leave YouTube and go to D Live, George. Yeah, it's a very different thing, especially when you have to get from one place to another in a taxi and or a couple of taxis, so you can put everything in the back of the cab.
Right.
So right. So we really are, fortunate that we have this, and maybe someday, this WAC open house can turn into a WAC festival where we can all meet each other in real life and get to play, like real live collaboration on stage.
Right, that would be fantastic, and it's such a healthy way to express what we're going through living in this modern age, as fast as it's changing, all of the cultural shifts that we're experiencing. Music is such a great way, such a great outlet to express that. The system really should view it as the best pressure valve that there can be. This is not a bunch of angry music. These are people that are coming very soulfully, singing about their experience living in this age. And it's a healthy outlet, and it should be encouraged.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that 100%. I think that there's so much, so much energy in our reactions towards the modern world right now. And people don't even know what to do with that energy sometimes, so it can be a little bit misplaced or misguided. But when you put it into like creative endeavors, you're putting it into something constructive rather than something, that's destructive. So there's no harm in that. And it's definitely, I think, the way to go. And it is ridiculous that people like Zurius are getting banned when there's no lyrics even to their music. So that just shows like how powerful music and art and creativity can be. And it's like, if it's not pushing a certain agenda, the certain agenda that certain people, want it to push, then they just want to go ahead and ban it because they disagree with that. They wanted to push an agenda. And
right. Very short-sighted on their part.
Absolutely.
And what's interesting about how censorship affected Zurius is he had no lyrics until he was banned. And then, he started writing and then contacted me to write and sing. So it's almost like they sort of pushed him into further creativity, which is certainly not what you expect to happen. They expected us to just stop them. Oh, we're going to shut them down and they'll give up. They'll give up with nowhere to go. Well, you know what? He found another place to go. And now he's adding words to the songs. And I'm sure that's not what they expected the result to be from shutting him down.
Right, exactly. There's always a reaction to every action. And the result is also that more and more people start paying attention to the music. It kind of starts having the Streisand effect.
I was just going to say, I also think it's important to remember that the reason they don't like us is not just because they don't like us. They don't like us because we are the voice of authenticity that no one else really has, the kind of authenticity that we have. We're not just another voice. We are the sort of the truthful voice, and that's why they don't like us. What we represent.
Yes.
That's all I had really to say. But it's not like we're just like some random people. Like we are trying to present the truth, and that's really what I think threatens them. Even somebody like Exurius, you know, yes, he doesn't have words in his music, but he's implicitly authentic. You know, he's he's sort of capturing something, even if it isn't explicit. They fear that anyway, just because, you know, they fear that authenticity, that spirit that you know, is captured by music. That's all I would have to say there, really.
Well, you don't get any more nuanced than synthesizers and drum machines as far as a message goes.
Absolutely. But having said that, I'd love to hear from Philosophicat. So welcome to you as well. And I'd love to hear any, like both of yours and George's plans for 2020, like as far as Uberfolk's concerned, and also with the Revolt Against the Modern World series that you're doing, which is fantastic, by the way. So anyone who hasn't checked that out, definitely, I'd highly suggest you do that, as well as Uberfolk's music. So please do that.
Thank you. Yeah, 2019 was a big year for us. We did release our double album, Music for Nations. And obviously we've been working on some new music for the Revolt Against the Modern World series, which was that kind of just, we weren't originally planning to do that, but, you know, as we were kind of doing it, sometimes we'd be like, you know, this song just really needs some words to it. And so we would kind of make these little songs that were sort of inspired by the episode, to kind of consolidate the ideas of the episode into like a little bite-sized piece of music that just we felt encapsulated the feeling and the essence of what Evelyn was trying.
You're breaking up a little bit, Kat, but you guys do such a great job with that, by the way, because I love those episodes. And then the visuals you put, just everything about them are just, it's like everything's spot on. So it's just really, it's just amazing. I love watching those. You guys.
Well, maybe George should say something about that, because he's actually the one who does most of the video editing, and that's a lot of his artistic skill that goes into that. He's definitely the more creative of the two of us.
Well, I just kind of learned how to do it while doing it. I had a little bit of experience with video editing before, but you know, it's been an amazing project to work together with Kat on it. We've really been able to delve so deeply into each chapter because, you know, I think she said this before, she reads each chapter like several times just to develop the script. And we read other supplementary stuff. We have to have conversations about it. And then we work on it. It takes an entire month. We write a song about it. Since we're just so in deep to all these ideas, it really makes the lyrics flow quite easily for the tunes we write for it. And it's probably going to be all we'll be able to focus on for the next couple of years artistically, because we've still got about 35 episodes left to go, and each of them will have an original song. We might skip the odd episode if we can't churn them out at that rate, but we're going to try at least. And yeah, it's been an awesome series. We're really enjoying it, with episode 6 coming out sometime into January.
George, I have a quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt. Hi, Wraith.
Shoot.
George, you mentioned that for Revolt Against the Modern World, and forgive me for not knowing, but you said so you read a chapter and then present it. So this is based on a book. Can you tell us a little more about the book and the author and how you're interpreting it and making it, you know, accessible to people through YouTube?
Absolutely. So the book was written in the 1930s by Baron Julius Evola. He is a traditionalist thinker, an Italian writer, and it was translated in 1995 into English for the first time. So it hasn't really had a long time to gain a lot of attention in the English-speaking world. But the book is massively influential, and it really covers a huge amount of the story of the world of tradition. So it goes through all different times of human history and prehistory and into legend and myth. It covers things that are deeply spiritual and covers the the whole real tale of humanity's history of trying to reach the transcendent. And so, and it goes through this in all of these traditional ways that we used to use as bridges to find the transcendent. So it talks about things like, the sacred right of kings. It talks about things like what a traditional man's path is or a traditional woman's path is. It talks about what the ideal structure of society is, and the healthiest way for us to orient society. It talks about the importance of the warrior caste and the priestly caste, and he's so well read. The writer Evola himself, he could read Egyptian, he could read Sanskrit, he could read Latin. So he was going back to a lot of these texts in Greek, and he'd go back in their original languages, and he'd be able to read these texts. So he just is a real wealth of knowledge, and this book is just an excellent way to approach it. So the idea of the series is to take each chapter and then to write. Kat writes primarily the commentary of that chapter, and then we put music and visuals to it. That's the way it works.
That is so neat, because I'm sure I could not pick up this book and read 40 chapters of that kind of heavy, dense text, even though all of those subjects are super fascinating to me. So I'm totally going to check that out, because being able to sort of digest it in small pieces with, artistic commentary and the music. Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet. So y'all, let's check it out. Me too.
Absolutely. And I have read that book, and I've got to say, like, for people who aren't like heavy into reading philosophy, or just like if you don't have time to read in general, it's just such a good way to they put it in a context that is easy to understand, and it's also just visually, like, it's just appealing to the eye. Like, everything about it is just, it appeals to all your senses at the same time, so you're getting like the full experience. It's like you're absorbing the information in more than just one way, if that makes any sense. And Philosophicat does an amazing job with the narration and writing the script, because as far as I know, the script is entirely original, right? You just use that based on inspiration you get from the book, and you're trying to summarize the chapter by chapter, right?
Well, summarize it, but also kind of clarify and expand on some of the concepts a little bit. There are occasionally I'll quote from the book, and I'll always note when I'm doing that. But the rest of the time, it's kind of my own explanation and trying to sort of take what he's saying and maybe give further examples of it, maybe explain it a little bit more in depth. He does have that very dense writing style that I think is difficult for some people. He also assumes a lot of background knowledge on the part of the reader that they may not have, and that can also be a challenge for somebody. So that's part of the reason, like, I'll go through each chapter several times, and I'm making a lot of notes as I go. I'm doing a lot of like side reading on some other subjects as well, and kind of trying to bring it all in and make a more holistic picture for people, so that if they haven't read the book at all, or they're trying to read the book but maybe not getting as much out of it as they could, they can watch these episodes and kind of maybe see it all put together a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you do such a great job with that, by the way, because there's also that, like, that generational divide, because that was written a long time ago, even before it was translated and stuff. So it was a different time. And so now, to make it relevant or easy for people in today's time, this modern age, to make it easy for them to understand, it's almost like you have to translate the translation a little bit at the same time. And then,
exactly.
So all the hard work that you guys put into that, it pays off, because it's put together so well. It's amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
So I highly recommend everybody checking that out, as well as Uber Folks Music, because they contribute to that too. And it's awesome. It's great. Which we also play on SNL. Saturday Night live stream on the White Art Collective. just to throw that plug in there.
Yes, and I've been giving you guys all of the songs we're doing for the Revolt series as well. So we'll keep those coming.
Excellent. Yes, we'd love to play those. I'm sure. So Jeff, did you have something to say? I saw you unmute earlier and then remute.
I think I was going to say something about authenticity, I've been talking about the hipster question.
The hipster question.
Yeah. Authenticity. No, it's important. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm actually gonna. I'm making it kind of funny with the hipster thing, but it's actually, it is kind of about kind of like fads versus. I don't know. I feel like what we're trying to do is we need something of more depth than just kind of like, fads, and hipsterism in general is kind of this was just a Twitter thing that was going around the other day. It's just kind of a shallow thing. But anyway, that I was just going to throw that in there. And also I was going to say that our next big project is we're going to do a compilation album dedicated to our political prisoners, and it's going to be an album which brings into it's going to include all like visual art stuff. Like it'll basically be like a zip file that we can put a lot of stuff in there, poetry, whether it's a reading or a document, or also we can have visual stuff, we can have music in there. But we're going to do that to draw attention to their plight. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We don't have a name for what the album's going to be yet. I think we're aiming for like probably a March completion date. So somewhere around in there. So that's going to be our next kind of big collective project. So if people want to be thinking about that. I'm personally going to get the studio version of, what is it? Ode to Robert E. Lee. Because in the end of it there, I say, and since they gave us hell, they're going to hear the rebel yell, kind of talking about the whole Charlottesville situation in Minecraft, of course, but, just metaphorically, like, if you tear down our statues, we're going to build them up that much higher. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I forgot to mention that. It's another big thing for 2020.
Absolutely. So if y'all haven't heard that song, by the way, you can check out Jeff Winston's Friday Unplugged Now episode, which should be on the White Art Collective BitChute channel. I will try to link that at some point. But yeah, so that was our like the very first show that we had for Friday Unplugged Now, and he played that song, and it was the first time any of us had heard it, and it was awesome. Jeff had like a whole like bundle of songs that none of us even knew about, and then he was just like, here I am with all of these awesome songs you guys didn't even hear of before, and we're like, what? Where did these come from? So
he hid the
that was
stash.
pretty cool.
He hid the stash.
He did. He hid it from us, and then we were like, where did these come from? So yeah. So Jeff's he's also an amazing songwriter on top of being the founder of the White Art Collective.
Jeff is an amazing songwriter. I just wanted to agree.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of songwriting, hi, Wraith, can I interrupt you again? Because the Handsome Horse came to me with a question that while we still have George and Kat here, I don't know how long you have them, what their writing process is for the music, because we heard about how they're preparing the, Revolt Against the Modern World episodes, which I'm looking forward to. But if that's okay, hi, Wraith, I know I don't mean to hijack your show, but I'd really love to hear just a little bit about how they create the music and the words and, what their process is.
I'm with you, Mama. So yeah, I second that. Yeah, I'd love to hear that too.
Yeah. So what we do is I actually collaborate with musicians around the world. So I've got people on different continents that are doing different styles of music or who are, performing different instruments for it. And we're just doing collaborative work that way. So I'm a hack on guitar. I can play well enough to like kind of scratch out a song idea, and I'll record that down and put whatever my chord selection was, and then I'll send it over to the guitarist, and he'll work on it a little bit and come up with some modifications and send it back to me, and we'll work that way and continue to develop it. And lyrically, I'm very inspired by the books I'm reading. I mean, that's a continuous thing. So just whether it's a walk through nature or just quiet time with a pet or whatever it is, just getting you need that silent time in order to write lyrics, and the kind of the stuff you've been putting into your brain kind of comes back out then, hopefully in good ways sometimes.
He also does really good vocal imitations of just about every instrument. So if you need somebody to play it properly, he just kind of like sings his little imitation and says, "Do it like this."
Like, that's what I want the guitar to sound like, or boom, chicka boom. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, if you drive a vehicle, when you go to the mechanic, do you say, okay, well, my car's making this sound, right? That's a talent. Not everybody can do that, George.
It's true. You could actually get quite far just with sound effects, even if you have no vocabulary, like Mr. Bean.
Exactly.
So tell me, who's got a New Year's resolution here? Anybody?
I don't normally do New Year's resolutions. Well, not officially. I guess if I want to change something, I try to just start to do that. You know what I mean? But I guess if we're going to talk New Year's resolutions, personally, I just want to keep writing more songs, and I want to keep working with more people in our community and collaborating and helping, do my part in whatever I can to help build our community. So
Well, you've been really prolific. It's been amazing to watch you kind of rise from, I hadn't heard of you actually until when? Like your first song came on the scene maybe about a year ago, was it? Or 10 months ago? Yeah. And then the amount of music you've been releasing it's been great, and it's getting better and better. So I can really tell you're putting your heart and soul into it and really enjoying it.
Yeah.
You're on Libre Play. You're on Libre Play now.
I am on Libre Play.
Big time. You hit the big time.
Yes, Libre Play. Check them out, y'all. But yeah, anybody else with their New Year's resolutions want to chime in there?
Nope. No.
I know, like, everyone's
mine is to finish episode 6, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Keep expectations low.
I love it. Well, I'm excited for episode 6. Very excited. So yeah.
We should mention Philosophicat's really, really nice song on the Christmas album as well. She's a star in her own right. So.
Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. She's an absolutely beautiful singer. I get goosebumps when I listen to that song from the Christmas album.
If you embarrass me too much, I'm just going to have to leave.
Wait till you hear the song.
Right over here.
Wait till you hear the song she's got coming up. I won't say what episode it's coming in, but she has got this song where she just gets to showcase her voice in all of its glory.
Oh my
gosh. It's going to be so loved. I think it's one of the best things we've ever done. We're really excited about it.
Oh my gosh, I can see her blushing from here. Are you embarrassed?
I totally
am. Can't wait.
Yeah, the song's called Supernatural Fire. So
ooh, I like that name too. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that. Yeah, and I've been subbed to Philosophicat's other channel too, for you guys that haven't heard it yet. I think it's Symphonicat or Symphony Cat. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Symphonica. You got
Symphonica.
Right.
Okay. And she does some amazing vocals in all of her stuff. So check that out too, because that's another one of the things that I heard her sing in a lot. And when I first discovered Uberfolk and Philosophicat's channel, and that other channel is also amazing. I mean, her voice, it's incredible. I can't hit those notes. So yeah, I totally respect it.
Thank you. But stop talking about me now, because I'm getting really embarrassed.
Okay.
my face is bright red like a cherry.
Mine does the same thing.
Never going to forgive you for mispronouncing that either. So your name is on the blacklist.
Hey, my New Year's resolution is that I'm going to release more songs. I was just telling these folks in a little private chat here. I've probably got it like 50 songs. I've probably over 50 that just over the years. Yeah. Like, if you don't really have, you can't like record them and release them necessarily. I mean, you can do that, but it's just a lot of work. So like, I just kept writing. So the things just kept coming out, you know what I mean? So it's like, but I want to go back and like capture all this stuff. There's even like songs from back when I was like 19 or whatever. I'd really like to do a really nice, like a nice studio version of it. So anyway, that's my resolution, and of course doing all the regular whack. The thing is though, I got to just make sure things keep moving and growing and stuff, but we'll make sure that happens.
Can I ask you something, Jeff?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me how much having an audience to play these songs to, how much more that inspires you as a songwriter to get these songs finished and released.
Oh, that makes all the difference in the world. Oh, that's one of the reasons like I did this, is because I know, you know, I recognize I was at a point in my age and just my artistic curve where I'm just like, I have all this backlog of stuff, but it's so frustrating. Like, you will go to all the trouble to record it and put it out there. And of course, by the time you get to the marketing phase, and most of us artists are not marketing experts, it's its own art form, so to speak. So, you know, you're kind of worn out, and, you know, it's too much work for one person to do. So, and I knew there was a lot of artists out there like me who felt the same way. So, you know, I have this huge backlog of stuff, and it's just like, I create because that's what I do. But I you know, I never got to the, like, let's put it out, because I was like, who's going to hear it? You know, my family and friends, and, you know, like a handful of people on the internet. So that's why I think that, you know, what we're building here is so important, because, and I'm already seeing it happen. It makes a huge difference when you know that, hey, if I complete a song, there's going to be a community of artists and people who are going to hear it, you know, hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people. And of course, you know, that we're expanding all the time. So it's like, that makes all the difference in the world. For me, it's not complete until you get it in front of an audience, you know? So.
Right. Jack, do you think you would have released something as early as you did if it hadn't been for the WAC Saturday night streams?
I actually did release my stuff earlier, but
Okay.
what I knew about WAC because I saw him on Millennial, but I just thought it was a website, so I didn't really think. No offense to Jeff or anything, I didn't really think much more of it. SNL was totally new to me, and I was just putting my stuff out on Gab, and it was actually Handsome Horse, the other half of the Mamas and Pepes, who sort of picked me up on Gab, and put me in touch with Jeff, and then Jeff was like, "We got like this Saturday night stream," and I didn't know about that, so that was a big sort of you know, breakthrough for me. So, yep, that's how it went.
And that didn't start for like a year later. So I was on Millennial last year, and then I didn't actually start the Saturday Night Live stream till like November of 2018. So yeah, there was a period in there where I was trying to figure out what to do. I'm like, well, how do I do this? I know what my goal is, but how do I get there? And I'd never live streamed, so, you know, fumbled around and tried to figure that out. And actually, the first live stream I played our stuff, some of our people's stuff, and then also some known stuff. And of course, that got taken down immediately. So it's like, okay, we'll just focus on our stuff. I think that was really a godsend that they shut it down. It's just like, yeah, now we'll just focus on our people's stuff. Forget mainstream everything. Like, let's just have our own little scene, you know. And then it grew from there.
And that's where the saying comes from, that every challenge comes with the seed of a greater opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
And I feel the same way about our current, the stuff we got going on, you know, with these people getting us kicked off YouTube and Bandcamp and the Teespring and all this stuff. It's like, I mean, I know it is frustrating for everybody, but I personally, I like the pressure, because I think it's going to galvanize us. It's going to make us stronger and more tight knit as a community. And it's just going to make us push us to figuring out, like, okay, how do we better get our message out there? How do we utilize these other platforms, and how do we utilize building our own platforms, which I think that's ultimately the direction we need to go in.
Yeah, that's very true. We used to be our own worst enemies back in the 90s, because everything was about shocking people back then. And this music that's coming out now, it's just so much more from the soul. It's so much deeper. And that's the place to keep it. It come from a place of love, come from a place of love for your heritage, for your story, the story of your people, and to support that in a very positive way that uplifts people. I mean, even if it's a depressing song about it, it can still be sung from a soulful position instead of being a mean-spirited. It's okay to be mean sometimes, but you know what I'm saying. It's better in general to take that high road, and I think that makes it really difficult to demonize it.
Very well said. Very well said. I mean, and I know Jeff says a lot on the Saturday Night live stream that we really strive to be more pro us than we are anti them, which is something we don't see from the other side. And hey, hi Wraith, I want to bring it back a little bit to logistics. I know there's only 6 slots, and I know there's a whole bunch of people we want to hear from. So please feel free to kick me out.
Yeah, guys, we got a lot of people that are on the show, so we can't let this go on like sort of indefinitely. Like people are supposed to, you know.
Okay, I am gracefully bowing out, but I don't know how to leave. So whatever you need to do, click my button. And Jeff, if you could just confirm that we are having a Saturday Night live stream this Saturday, and folks can hear me blather then.
Yes, we are having a Saturday Night live stream, and I have internet connection again. So that's a big,
excellent.
You've been a trooper. Thank you. So you can listen to Mama talk as much as you want on Saturday Night live stream.
So please kick me out. Yes, Happy New Year.
Thank you,
Happy
Mama,
New Year,
for joining
everybody.
us. Yeah, we love your
Happy New Year,
song. Your song's awesome, by the way.
Bring in the next crowd.
Next round. Next round.
See you later.
I think we got imminent rain here. I think let's bring imminent rain on.
All right, so now we have imminent rain, and I'm also going to bring in. Let's see, who else should I bring? I guess I will bring in Goys of Summer as well, and Lord Wolfshield.
No.
Yeah, get Lord Wolfshield. I don't know about that guy. Like
no subversives in the
Hello, is this Lord Wolfshield?
We meet at last, Jack.
Oh my God, that's what he sounds like?
Welcome, Lord Wolfshield and Goys of Summer and Imminent Rain.
Well, hello, my fellow white people.
It's so nice to talk to you guys.
I'm glad you get to hear my real voice.
Oh gosh.
Hey, nothing edgy.
Oh boy.
I can hear the hands
I'm
rubbing
just
together
kidding.
as we speak.
This is Arnell Schwartz. This is my real voice. I was eating some protein. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with y'all.
You promised you'd be good, Luke.
Yeah. Am I loud enough? I wasn't sure if I did the level check right.
Yes,
You sound good to me.
You sound good to me, and I just want to go ahead and say thank you to Mama P and Philosophicat and George Birdie for joining us because they were awesome. It was great to hear a little bit about what they've got going on. So now I'd like to hear from you, fine folks. Imminent Rain, what are you up to these days? What you working on?
Actually, I'm working on the Prometheus concept album for Jason Kuna. And that's quite a project. What I usually have to do is I'm doing like 2 chapters per song, and then I basically try to summarize those 2 chapters in a poem, and then I set the poem to music. So it's I'm getting very familiar with the text of Prometheus Rising, as you might imagine.
That's
I
a
bet
very
you are. Go on, Jeff.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's pretty cool. That's an interesting project. So you're basing it around his book, right? That's what you were saying there.
Yeah, totally. I just had a really kind of a spiritual experience reading that book, and it really spoke to me on very deep levels, because in that book I saw a lot of the archetypes and the symbols of what our people are going through, and the character traits, that the good and the character traits that are kind of harmful to us that we have as a people. And it was very inspiring to see someone put it into a mythology. I mean, it's like the same tier as Tolkien or C.S. Lewis or any one of the great fantasy authors, in my opinion. I just think Jason did a fantastic job, and I wanted to make sure that there was a good concept album to go with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I think that your style is befitting of something like that, because you have a very you capture the dramatic well. And Yeah, you've got there's a flair for it there, but I love your work, and I remember stumbling across your stuff, man. You can seriously shred. It's great to finally get to talk to you.
Well, it's great to talk to all of you as well. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of everything that's going on with the White Positive Sphere and the White Art Collective and everything. And I get discouraged. I was really discouraged when I got discouraged for a time and kind of dropped out of the scene. And then I don't know if the rest of you know, but Jeff Winston and Jason Kuna like kind of dropped what they were doing and talked some sense into me and encouraged me at a time where I was really low and felt like I needed to move on. But yeah, it's just been really great being a part of this. I feel like I've gained a spiritual community with this community of people.
I'm glad that you came back, because I was like, here's this incredible talent, and it's like, I know people get frustrated, and people kind of drop out from time to time, but I'm glad to hear, and you told me that before, that Jason had reached out, and I also was like, no, don't go, man, please. Yeah, so you're doing incredible work, and it's really cool that you're doing that with Jason's book. And like you said, Jason he's an incredible talent. My instinct about him is that he's one of the best. Like, he's a rare, genuine talent, and it's interesting too, because he's got a nice blending of the intellectual and the artistic. So that's a rare thing. And he's also been great to the White Art Collective. He's promoted a lot of our stuff. He's been doing all those premieres, and he really boosted Jack's Sky King song, which was awesome too, and gave him a nice boost right off the bat. So yeah, kudos.
Yeah, totally. In my personal opinion, I just think that Jason's a genius, like some kind of a literary creative genius, and he's just really good with dialectics and with public speaking, and man, I kind of envy him on a lot of that stuff. But yeah, he's definitely a light in the community, and so are you, Jeff. I'm really glad you've brought all of us together with the White Art Collective. It's such a cool community to be a part of.
I agree. I was second, or I agree with everything that he just said. So absolutely, 100%. But I would like to hear from Goys of Summer, if we can. And
Can you hear
can
me,
tell.
first of all?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
And so tell us what you're working on. Maybe what you've got planned or what you've accomplished. Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, this year was actually a really good year. B, who's the guy I'm working with, who's kind of like my silent partner in all this, him and I started working, like 2 years ago, I think. We met through friends of friends, basically. And so, yeah, this year was really good. I think we got 3 or 4 songs done. It's a really slow process. It's kind of frustrating, but he travels a lot for work, and he has a family, so he's busy. And then it takes me forever to write lyrics, but yeah, we put out some decent songs. I'm satisfied with what we're putting out. It's progressively getting better compared to the first few songs that we did. So, and we have, God, I don't know, 3 or 4 more in the works right now. So yeah, it's good. It's looking like a good start to 2020.
Absolutely. That's what's important, that you're happy with what you're putting out, because if you're not happy with it, chances are other people might not like it as well, but if you put out something that you're content with or that you put your heart into, then there's a good chance that others might like it as well. You know what I mean? And for those of you that don't know, there's an episode coming up this Friday of Friday Unplugged Now that will be streamed on White Art Collective's DLive channel. And Goys of Summer is the guest. He's going to be playing a set for everybody. So definitely check that out.
My heart is ripping out of my chest as we speak.
It's nerve-wracking, but it'll be great. Everybody understands, and that we're working with what we've got. We're working long distance here, so we're not in like some fancy studio, and it doesn't matter because we're having a good time. We're listening to good music, and it's music that's from our people, written for our people. So That's something you don't just hear on the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm excited to do it too because I don't know. I forgot who turned me on to White Art Collective. It was somebody on Gab. I can't remember. And so I started going to the Saturday Night Live. What was it, March, I think? And there was like 18 viewers at a time. And I was like, what is this? But I liked it, like the whole idea of this community and people sharing their music. And yeah, I mean, I guess if I want to be a part of this community, I need to be doing something, right? So if there comes an opportunity to perform, then I should be performing. So
Absolutely. That's a good way to look at it. All right. So, Lord Wolfshield, you want to tell us what's going on with you and introduce yourself and what you've got going on? I hear there's something coming up with you and our WAC Pack leader, a new show, perhaps. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, I just I had pitched this idea for a show. Well, actually, like originally, I was just trying to. Uh, Sorry, I was a little nervous. So yes, I wanted a show with like Jeff Winston and Mark Brahman. Because they had done a review for Get Out that I liked, and so I wanted to pitch it. I had been trying to pitch that for a while. I had been pitching it in the chat, but Jeff didn't see it. But so I pitched it on Twitter, but like at the last second, I'm just like, hey, I want to get in on this, so I like added me to the tweet just because I'm like, hey, maybe I can just be like in the background with Jeff and Mark as they like, you know.
You're doing a great job.
Sorry. I'm
I'm
very
laughing
nervous.
my ass off. Man. You're not so tough now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. We love you. We love you. We love you. Even though you're a bastard.
For those of you that, just to give you guys some context, for those of you that don't know, there's been this pro ginger, anti ginger war going on Twitter. It's just we're mortal enemies.
I mean, when you wake up to the ginger question, nothing else makes sense.
See how evil
I can't wait for the show, dude. I can't wait. Nah, you're a good guy.
Yeah, but anyway, so I pitched
wait. One thing. I just want to chime in. I want to say hi to Goys of Summer, and also I think he might. Does he have a stake in this whole ginger thing? I thought maybe he did.
I do. Don't worry, Jack White and I have been planning some things.
Yeah, we're ganging together.
All right.
It's not going to end well.
Well, not for him, but hey, Jeff.
I'm not afraid to fight some leprechauns.
Oh, you will be. You will be.
All right. Well, yeah,
All right.
I don't know.
All right. So what are we doing to tomorrow, Lord Wolfshield? So we're doing a show tomorrow. Is that right?
Well, that's the idea. Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be leading the charge, and I'm going to sit back and drink beers.
I think my oration skills have really. Well, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. This is. Yeah,
we should mention that Lord Wolfshield is actually quite a talented musician. He put out.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Like I feel it feels very strange to be surrounded by so many talented musicians, and I'm just kind of like this potato brain guy who like slaps a piano and comes out with some notes. I feel like the Dave Rubin of the WAC Pack, really.
Don't put yourself down. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too. I like what you've come out with so far. I'm excited to hear more personally. I mean, you're talking this is coming from someone that plays like power chords on the guitar as she writes and sings. But I like simplicity in what I do, but I like what you do. I can't play the piano, so I like it. I think what you've done is great so far.
Yeah, when I first found you, I just thought you were the show commander, and then you started pumping out a few tunes. I'm like, this guy's actually He's a bastard, but he's got talent.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be able to release something actually good to get played on Saturday Night live stream this year. That's my biggest goal of the year.
All right, if Jeff doesn't play that last one you did, that cover, it's criminal, in my opinion.
Well, it's too late.
We'll petition him.
It was a Christmas song after all, but that said, what I've heard from you has been awesome so far. So I can't imagine that anything you come out with is going to be any less awesome. It's only going to get better. So
hey,
thank
I
you.
loved that version. I mean, of course, I'm biased because you did a cover of my song, but no, that worked really well. Like the piano and the instrumentation you did there, it made it like very dramatic. I really dug that. I seriously, I was sitting there, with the family at Christmas, and I'm like, this is beautiful. And it's kind of cool because it brings out the melody in a very different way when you do it with like the piano and the strings and like the chorus sound. So that was cool. And hey, Jack, I would totally play that on the stream. It's a Christmas song, but most people wouldn't even know that. You could probably play it, I don't know, sometime soon, but we'll definitely play it
Next Christmas for sure.
We'll get him next year, kid. But yeah, no, that was cool. And it's cool just too to see getting your, I know you just got your equipment and stuff for making music. So again, this is exactly what I would hope. You've gotten involved in this. And you've also been instrumental in getting us on a number of big podcasts. You kind of, you were super chatting at Red Ice, and I know you've super chatted at some other folks.
Yeah, I super chatted Millennial Woes this year too.
Oh yeah,
trying to get you on Millennial. Man, I was so annoyed that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we must have gotten some kind of blacklist or something. I don't know what happened there, but whatever.
That too.
Whatever. People can do whatever they want to do. We've all got our own platforms. We got our own thing going on. But yeah, so you've been instrumental in getting us on Red Ice and all that stuff, which was a huge boost because like we went. We got over 1,000 subscribers like right around the end of August on our YouTube, and then we almost made 2,000 right before the happening here just a couple weeks ago, or not even 2 weeks ago. But so anyway, yeah, appreciate that.
Well, I have a very strong investment in seeing you succeed. I mean, it's just we can't retake the culture without an art scene.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. And yeah, I mean, that's such a huge part of this. And, that's what we're doing. And so back to our show, speaking of the art scene. So you are a big fan of like, you like Red Letter Media, as do I.
Oh yeah. Before I like, only started paying attention to, white, positive material, all I did was watch like movie review type YouTube shows, and I always wanted to do that. But I don't know, was never motivated enough to do it. And then I don't know, Jeff, you kind of
lit a fire under your crease.
My crease? This is a family show, bro.
I know, that's why I said crease. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be fun. This guy, he's a funny guy.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'll definitely tune into some of that. I think it'll be awesome for sure.
You're gonna have to do an anti-Ginger song too, just for the hell of it.
And I'm hoping to kind of collaborate more with Jeff with some film stuff in the future as well, like actually shooting film stuff.
Yeah, that's another one of my resolutions is like we did 2 short films, one for the Last Message to the West in October. We started that like the last week of September, and then we did Strawman in like 2 weeks. So like if we can produce 2, it was an insane month. And that's also the month that I wrote this article I put in White People's Quarterly, which is like 4,000 words. So October, I need to spread that over the entire year, but we definitely need to work on some more short films, and I'd love to get you in on that.
Yeah, I'd love to fly out and film it with you.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to do it then. We're gonna make it happen.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think having a film uh, scene is probably the most important of all the arts that we could try to take back. You know, I think film has had such a more of an impact than really anything else in shaping how people view, you know, the society they live in, I feel.
You know, you're talking to a bunch of musicians here, right?
In
Well-
Hollywood and just, well, I mean, with the TV and the the creation of the TV, you're right. Like that's and people see that and they think it's reality. They're like, oh, this is how people should act. This is how people are supposed to be, and whatever's put on that TV, whether it's like a reality show or whether it's a movie or it could be fiction, supposedly nonfiction or whatever, but people still absorb all of that and think that, and on some level, they're supposed to be that way or act that way, So I totally get it. I understand that. I mean, it's like probably the most effective form of propaganda, in my opinion, as well. Music too, but music came first, So because music was available before there was a TV, and I guess before that people were just like acting on stages. But yeah, absolutely, it's come a long way.
All right, fam, let's not get too deep. Guys of Summer, really good to see you here, and I'm a big fan of your work, as I am of Luke Mason also. What you got planned for the new year?
Oh, dude, I don't really have any like resolutions, but I'm gonna keep focusing on fitness and music.
Are you like a beefcake now? Since
no, actually, dude, this year I've lost like 30 pounds, dude. Just
oh, you were chunky.
yeah, I had a gut, dude. Just nasty, just a slug. But no, I started going back to the gym religiously last year. That was kind of like my New Year's resolution for last year. And yeah, did the intermittent fasting stuff and just going to the gym, implementing cardio with weightlifting, and yeah, I lost like 30 pounds. And it helps. I mean, I have more energy. I feel more accomplished. And then doing that fasting stuff also helps me to be more disciplined in a lot of areas of my life because the fasting really sucks. So if I can just get through those like 16 to 18 hours that I do it, then I feel like I accomplished something. Then I can be more disciplined in other things. But also focusing a lot more on music too. I don't know the direction I'm really going to go. I mean, the guy I'm working with, B, his music is not at all my style at all. And I never saw myself writing lyrics for this type of music. I'm more into like prog rock, like Tool, or this other band called Richelieu. They're probably like my favorite band. But his stuff, I can dig it. And I do like the challenge because it isn't my thing. It forces me to adopt and try different styles of singing.
That's kind of interesting because you actually sound like you have a really good sound. I mean, I love some of those tunes. You like Accelerate, so catchy, such a good vibe. It's just so punchy. Love it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I know that one's kind of a Fed posting song, but that's
Yeah, I love that
dude,
stuff.
the second he sent that, he sent like a crappy recording of it through text. And like the second I heard it, dude, I knew what it was going to be about just because that's what the music called for. But yeah, I mean, I'm satisfied with the stuff we are putting out. And the other songs that we have in the works too are different. The cool thing about him is he's into so many different styles. And I really like that because I don't want to be an artist who just does like one style. Like a band I have a lot of respect for is a band called Ween. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them, but
I don't know.
they can play any music genre and do it well. And they're more like an alternative rock band, but they even have a country album, and it's solid, dude. It's really good. And that's something I kind of want to strive for, is not just sticking with one genre. I really want to branch out and try different things. I mean, most of my music background is actually classical.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So but again, I'm really attracted to prog rock. That's the kind of stuff I really like, but I never really find myself actually writing or playing it, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, you guys will hear my stuff on the Friday stream, but yeah, this year I want to focus more on music and fitness. Yeah, it's going to be a good year. I'm really excited for this year, man. I am. This year ended quite well. I mean, one of my biggest character defects is I'm just lazy and I'm complacent, and I like to take the easy way out, and so I've really neglected music over the years, and it's been a huge mistake and a big regret. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're good at something and you have a talent or an aptitude for something, do it and evolve it and grow it. And that's something I've just recently recaptured. Part of that's working with B, because working with him, I'm now accountable to be producing lyrics and vocals for his music, but also the White Art Collective, man, it's given me inspiration to actually be a part of something and use my talent for something, for creativity. So, thanks to Jeff, because this community that he's built it's a big deal. It really is, and it's helped.
That's really awesome. We're super glad to have you. We love you. We love your music, and let's hope 2020 it just gets better. So.
Yeah. Hey, guys, that's really cool. And man, I dig your stuff, but I'm curious to hear. That's cool to hear that. I'm a huge Tool fan. I don't know if you've seen me Tool posting on Twitter or whatever, but eventually I'd like to do maybe like a stream about it. Might have to get some of the Tool folks together to do like an artistic dissection on some of their work. But anyway, I'd be curious to hear, if you're going in a more prog rock direction. I mean, I can hear some of that influence, I think, in what you're doing, but I know you're working with this other gentleman, B. But that's cool to hear. So I'm interested to hear where things go. And Ween, I know Ween as well. I got a buddy who's a huge Ween fan. I was never like a huge Ween guy, but they're definitely interesting. And I'm like you, I like being able to play a lot of different styles. Like I have a hard time settling on one thing, So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Me too, definitely. And just to reiterate, so this Friday, Goys of Summer is going to be my guest on Friday Unplugged Now. And having that said, I think we're going to bring out Goys of Summer and Lord Wolfshield and bring in some other guests. Is that all right with you guys? Do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
I'd like to add one more thing. Jack White said some real nice things about me. It's nice to finally talk to you not in person, I guess, over the internet, but your Western Apocalypse Now is stuck in my head at least like 3 days out of the week.
Thank you, fam.
Yeah, I love that song.
We met in the comments of YouTube. I was watching you said I could join your militia, so not to get too controversial here. So we made friends in the comments. You're a good lad.
I appreciate it, man. Well, you know what? If you're ever in the States, drop me a line. If I ever go to Ireland, then I'll be hitting you up.
Yeah, take me shooting.
Oh, dude, that would be the first thing we do.
Sweet.
You know it, dude. We're Americans, dude. It's all about guns, dude.
Happy days. Really good meeting you, dude. I wish I could say the same about Lord Wolf. Nah, we love you. We love you, Randall.
Hey, no infighting. That's something that I'm like proud of with the White Art Collective communities. We don't have infighting, so yeah, let's keep it that way, guys.
That's one of the things I love about the whole WAC community. It's everybody's so positive and there's such a good vibe.
Yeah, we're friendly and welcoming because I mean, why wouldn't you want it to be that way? That's my question. So.
This community is a big deal. Like, it's huge, and I didn't realize it until recently. But this thing that's going on is a big deal for our people and our future.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. Happy New Year's, and as they say in Canada, peace out.
Happy New Year.
Look forward to the show, fam. And, have a good night, guys.
Yeah, I look forward to the new show.
Hey, one quick thing. I just wanted to thank all these guys, Luke and Goys of Summer and Lord Wolfshield. Like you guys are all doing great work. You're all very talented, and this whole thing, it wouldn't be what it is if you guys weren't participating in it and putting your best foot forward in it. So thank you guys for being part of this and for being on with us tonight. And Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year to you, Jeff.
Yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for having us.
Sweet. Have a good one, guys. Let's get a 4-0. Let's get 4-0. See you in the chat.
All right. Let's see. We do have Fornol, and so I'll add Fornol to into the chat. Hello, Fornol. And I also there's one other person I really wanted to add to because he's been waiting a while. I wanted to add our brother Seaver Hamlin.
Oh yeah, Seaver.
Because he contributes so much to our community in just in a different way. He doesn't play music, but he's our moderator and he helps us promote, and he does such an amazing job at what he does. So I wanted to just bring you both on and say welcome Seaver and welcome Fornol.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's great to be here.
Oh dear.
How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah.
I don't know, I'm about to run for the door. How are you?
Oh my.
This is very white, and I'm here to wish everyone a happy new year. Woo!
I feel like I'm in a horror movie. What's happening?
Okay, I don't know.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
I had to try something.
That was great.
Jeff has me pegged.
Was that some sort of like effect you used, or is that just like you?
Yeah. That
Okay.
was no, I can't talk.
I was like, did you do that somehow with your voice? Is this like a Cornell trick? What's happening?
I thought that was for real, dude.
Seaver. First of all, I've already said hi to Hirith in real life. So hey Jack.
Hey bud. You know
hey,
me.
it's good to actually say hi to you, to your voice.
Hey,
and hello to Jeff and Luke.
Hey,
the
good to
badass.
see you, Fernando.
Hey, yeah, your stuff is freaking awesome. And Seaver, our awesome mod. So just saying hey. And
Hi, Fornol. Nice to finally speak to you voice to voice, my friend.
I know. It's so weird. It's like we never hear each other talking. I've only heard Hirith because, you know, I was on her show. So we were trying to figure out all the tech stuff. So anyways, that's all I got.
Well, yeah, I was asked to come on, and to be quite honest, I was very nervous about doing so. And then I changed my mind and hurried up some tech stuff and actually had to run to Wally World to get a $10 boom microphone because my very expensive one wasn't cutting it. Yeah.
You got a microphone just for us. Thank you so much, Seaver.
Sweet.
I feel special.
Thank you, Seaver.
Oh, God, guys, I'm so honored to be able to talk with you all. And I'll tell you a little bit about me while I'm here, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. We'd love to hear about you. Yeah, carry on, please.
Well, I guess musically, I should start. You know, I guess I always had an interest in it up in grade school. And of course, 6th grade, middle school here in small town America, started band and worked way up into high school. Did 2 years of high school band, and you know, I learned a lot and can really appreciate a lot of music that I can understand what's going on. I feel the education wasn't where it should have been, but I definitely appreciated it, even though I probably wouldn't go through it again, to be honest. But learned to play clarinet. Would have made different choices, you know, if I had to do it again. But I'll just give you a quick version of how I found my way here and some of the cool new things I'm looking at coming up.
Yeah, look, we'd love to hear that. Well, just real quick, Saint Friendship said he wants to know the story of how Seaver became in charge of the internet. So I guess you're about to get into that, correct?
Well, guys, I don't know what to say to that. I get so many positive things and thank yous. And, when I say thank you back across the keyboard, I always feel like, do they really understand, how appreciative and everything I am? And I've always been the type of person that, I don't mind leading when I have to. I'd rather not. I've always been the type of person that's been a support person. And I like knowing the plan, working the plan, and helping push other people higher. And I guess my history into the movement, I was raised fundamentalist Christian, and I kind of fell away from the church for a while. And I tried to understand the quote unquote other side, and went to a Unitarian church for several years. And I kept trying to tell myself, oh, you just need to see their side and all this stuff. And finally, it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and had to get out of it. And kind of reevaluated my life. And I guess it all really started with Dr. Duke back when the time he was running for Congress and stuff. My Christian family just taught me that he was the devil and all that. And I remember even back then, I would have been, about 12 or so. I remember thinking, I don't hear anything coming from him that's, hateful or destructive. And the way I found my way into this was, believe it was 2018, the midterm election, and the doctor had a stream going, and I forget who else was there, but Jason Kuna, aka No White Guilt, was one of the guests on there. And at the time, he was still just audio only. He hadn't got into turning the video on those days. And he really caught my ear, and I loved where he was going with the white positive and the energy he had and all that. And I'll never forget the night. It was a 6-hour stream. We've had others since then. But yeah, just stepping in and not really understanding the lingo that we use and really what things are all about. And it takes even if you know something, it takes a long time to learn and really grow with it. And I hope it's a never ending process. And, I got to know some people in chat, and not personally, but through chat. And I just saw an area that to me needed a gap filled, and I was ready to fill that. And so he made me mod, and yeah, it was trial by fire. It was jumping in feet first, but I couldn't be more appreciative. I just love doing it so much. Like I said, being the support side of everything, it's fun. It may sound kind of nerdy. I don't know. It's just absolutely, there's not a night that it's not fun, even when I'm feeling my worst. And it's just incredible. But
I don't think that's nerdy at all. I mean, we appreciate you so much, and anybody who's willing to do what you do is we highly appreciate that, because for those of you that don't know, Seaver Hamlin, he works a lot with No White Guilt, but he also works with White Art Collective amongst other channels. And he's like a moderator on these live streams, and he'll post links and help promote things. And he's just so on top of it. Like as soon as something comes up in conversation with a project that someone's doing, it's like he posts the link, he's right there and he posts it. And so that people who are listening or people who are in the live chat can go and say, oh, okay, so this is where I go to click on that, and this is where I find that. And I don't think like it's so, I mean, it's hard to even explain how much that really helps us, because we have so much going on when we're trying to do these streams and stuff. It's hard to try to do everything at once. And when Seaver does things like this, it just helps us tremendously. And so yeah, we can't thank you enough for doing that. So
yeah. I wanted to second that real quick. Thank you, Seaver. It's fine. It's nice to finally get to speak with you. But yeah, to Hyrit's point, it's like we really started gaining traction here in the last 6 months. And one of the reasons for that is because you coming on board. And I don't remember exactly. I know you were working with No White Guild, and I'd been on tap and things. I don't remember exactly how we kind of touched base. If you maybe reached out or I reached out to you, I don't remember. But it is huge because it just takes it to a whole new level of professionalism and giving that information out. And it really is, it's great because you also chime into the chat and things. So it's good to hear your story there. And I can't thank you enough for what you're doing because it's paramount.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Again, I certainly appreciate it. And I think I was the one that reached out to you. I've seen enough happen with other chats and especially other streams. I've come so far with this, it kills me to see somebody's stream going sour. And it's like, you need to fix this. But I guess just unless anybody has anything else they want to ask for the new year, I've been gifted so
sorry,
much.
I don't want to interrupt, but I think Luke might need to leave. So
go ahead, Luke.
Hey, y'all. Seaver, dude, you're one of my heroes, man. I just wanted to say that. It's always great to see you on these chats and in the streams and stuff. And yeah, man, I'm really happy to be a part of this. Jack, thanks for reaching out to me and giving me the invite. And y'all are great. I'll be listening on YouTube. I'm going to get back to my family. I haven't told you this, but I'm a retired martial arts instructor who's married to a choir teacher with 4 kids. So I've,
oh wow,
yeah,
what style of martial arts?
I do like a combination of Jeet Kune Do, Filipino martial arts, Wing Chun, and Hungar. And I have a background.
Jeet Kune Do is Bruce Lee's.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
cool.
a background in Korean martial arts too, which is why I have 2 hip replacements.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I learned about the importance of having the right genetics the hard way. Because I wasn't, I was doing the Jean-Claude and everything, and kind of ruined my hips trying to be like Asian styles are not necessarily suited for Western body types all the time, and had to learn that the hard way. But that's why I spend so much time playing my guitar,
Nice.
But
I'm anyway, a black belt too, so I studied for like 13 years, Shotokan. But
that's
so
hardcore.
That's cool that you did that. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I'll let you talk.
There was Goys of Summer was talking about getting in shape and going to the gym, and I can totally relate to that. I've lost like 30 pounds recently from doing the same thing, intermittent fasting and cardio and weights and whatnot. So yeah, power on for all you guys that are getting involved in that kind of thing. I just think that's really great for us as a people to have an appreciation for aesthetics and for health and building each other up. And anyway, I could go on and ramble on and on, but it's been great. And I'm going to continue listening on YouTube for a bit and then get back to my family, and lots of love to all of you and
That's
Promethean
awesome.
Hails.
Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for
too.
joining us. Well,
Happy New Year.
Definitely have to do this again.
Thank you so much for coming on, Imminent Rain, and we love your stuff. Like you're a total beast in the community, and keep doing what you're doing. Like you're one of the greats. Absolutely.
Thanks so much. You guys make me feel like such a rock star. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Well, I guess before I get back to chat and drop off here, just 2 more small things. But Luke Mason's work with Prometheus Rising. Wow, it's unbelievable. And you've just got to go to his channel and listen to 1, 2, and 3. And I know there's more in the works and everything, but looking for further into the year for me. First of all, if anybody asks about my avatar, it's from a group called VNV Nation, Victory Not Vengeance. And they are a goth / synth pop group, really light on the goth and really heavy on the synth pop, future pop. And that's really kind of defined my music around all that. But as far as equipment for moderating, I just can't believe what all's landed in my lap. Had a router go out. It had to be replaced earlier than I wanted to. I've got a gaming router now. I've got a huge monitor sitting in front of me. I've got a new keyboard coming with a secondary. All the keys are programmable. They don't even have writing on them. It's how programmable.
Oh, wow.
They
That sounds
are.
fancy.
Yeah. I need to get this all cleaned up so I can show everybody a non-doxable picture. But it's just so much fun. And once again, thank you, Jack, Hyreth, Jeff, Arnall.
Thank you.
Everybody.
No, we love you, Stever. I'm laughing.
Yeah, good talking to you.
I'm laughing because you were like, you didn't want to come on the stream, but when you start talking, you could talk.
Oh, I could talk all night. You're exactly right.
Well, it's so good to hear you, though, because...
Why were you so shy?
I'm sorry, what, Jack?
I was just saying, you seemed so shy, but as soon as you're on the stream, you're like, you can just... You should have your own YouTube channel. You should have your own channel.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready to start a channel yet.
Stever Hamlin, Go Social.
Well, we'll see about that sometime in the future. But much love, family, everybody in chat, and
it's great to have you.
This has been such an honor, and we're certainly not going anywhere, but here and forward. So
absolutely,
much love. You're part of the group.
It's great to have to be able to hear a little bit about your story too, because I mean, we can't stress enough how important you are to our community. So thank you for joining us tonight. It really means a lot. It's an honor for us too. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, and have a happy New Year.
You too.
Thanks, Seaver.
I would add, I wish we had like more Seavers who would just, or like who would,
The Seaver bots.
Seaver clones.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes, he knows how to do that.
We need a Seaver army.
A Seaver clone army. Yeah, we need a Seaver clone army.
You can't.
Does anybody have any of those lying around anywhere? Any Seaver clone army?
And I mean, you can't underestimate.
Let's introduce our new guest.
Yes, I've brought in a new guest, and this is called. He is called Transversing the Divide. Traversing the Divide. I'm sorry, I swear.
That's all right.
So if you'd like to introduce yourself, please do so.
Maybe we can get Syntheside in here as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And also, okay, that sounds good to me. We'll do that.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Synthesize.
Oh, you can hear me?
We can.
Yep. Oh, great. Okay. Just couldn't tell if this.
He's mocking us like thinks he's on mute. Happy New Year, you douchebags.
Well, yeah, it was already New Year's for me, of course. Well, it's already New Year's for me. I guess you guys are about to hit 2020 in a few hours, yeah?
Yes, we are. Well, I'm on Eastern time. So yes, we will be hitting New Year's in about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, thanks for having me on. It's good to finally sort of, hear everyone in real life and chat.
Yeah,
And,
good to meet you too. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. And it's good to hear Seaver too. I didn't realize that he was also a muso, so I'd like to talk to him a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. So it was really great to hear his story. I agree.
Yeah.
So do you guys? We'll start with you, Synthesized, since you're already in the conversation here. What are you working on this year? Are you in the middle of any project?
Just I'm really just wanting to do more collaborations. And I mean, I know I've sent some of you, I've shared the files and the Dropbox and all that sort of stuff. But I'm really wanting to just sort of collect and collaborate with as much people in our sphere or not. I mean, there's some that aren't. Whether or not they will like being amongst us, well, I haven't told them, so it's just too bad. But we're not too extreme. So I mean, so literally just about collaborating, and I've already got a few down. One with Uridine, who I'm not too sure what's happened to him. He's been quiet for the last sort of few weeks. I can't seem to find him online anywhere.
He has been quiet.
Yeah, but we've already sort of worked on something, sent some files back and forwards. Same with Imminent Rain as well. And I'm sure I've said it before, but the invite goes out to all and anyone, in our circle. Simple as that. And I'm probably going to have it ready by, the next few months. Just another EP. And I'll also get some a bit more spoken word involved. I mean, I might ask, Jason again. You guys familiar with Blair Cottrell? He's been on a few streams recently with Mark Collette and those guys. He's well known in Australia as kind of being a bit of a figurehead for the Patriot movement. So yeah, just more things like that.
I'm familiar with him.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think collaboration is very important. I know me and you have talked about collaborating as well, which I would like to talk more about that because we've got it's been a lot of crazy things going on over this holiday season. But yeah, I'd love to collaborate with you as well in the future. I think it'd be great. So
indeed.
And collaborating is super important. It helps us build our community. And I was talking to Jack earlier about how important it is that we work with people in different realms within our sphere, if that makes any sense. So like a good example would be a poem that just came out yesterday from Snow Shadow. She did a collaboration with No White Guilt and Poseidon, and it was amazing. And so when you cross barriers like that, it's really cool. Like, so when you have musicians working together with people who might be good at narrating, and then you have someone else, who maybe is writing the lyrics or the poetry, and you could even have another person doing the visual stuff. So it's kind of cool to have different people doing different things and working together, and it just strengthens our bonds as a whole, if that makes sense.
Totally agree. I was super appreciative of Synthesized and Fornell's, particularly Synthesized. He did most of the work. Fornell did the guitar, I think, on that remix, and it turned out just amazing. I mean, I couldn't have. It was so surprising what they did. I never would have expected that, but it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great remix. How did you?
Thank you. Thanks to both of you guys. I loved it.
Yeah, he just asked me for some guitar. Oh,
so that's that. No, go on. That's what I was going to ask.
Ahead, no, Fornell. Go ahead, Fornell.
I was just gonna say he asked me for some guitar parts, so I played the chord progression like every way I could imagine, like arpeggios, strums. And then I did a few solos, and I made a few typical spaghetti western guitar sounds, and then he just took it and like magically transformed it into that remix, which I was so surprised when I heard it. It sounded so awesome.
yeah, you gave me a lot to work with. I was really influenced by. I'm sure you're all familiar with a band called Wall of Voodoo.
Oh, yeah.
That song is really similar to their style, and I just thought what you did and what Jack did really suited it. So you don't hear many songs that combine new wave and spaghetti western. So I thought, I really liked that clash.
Oh, that's who it is. You're right. Wall of Voodoo.
I totally ripped it off.
I not to do it. I saw them, but I did at the Greek Theater, and they actually were super awesome live. They made that sound like happen in real life. It wasn't just studio magic.
Awesome. Anyway, we should let our friend traversing the divide say hello here. He's
Hey guys.
a maestro in the movement, and
Oh, I don't know about
yeah.
that.
How you doing, bud?
Doing good. I don't know, 5 more hours till midnight here. I'm on the West Coast.
West
Same here.
Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Drink up.
It's good to hear everybody and what everybody's doing, and yeah, it's really inspiring.
Yep. How are you doing? How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. Just been working on more songs.
Yeah. Awesome. You're churning them out pretty
Yeah.
fast. It's pretty impressive.
Well, when I first sent Jeff a couple songs, I had at least 4 ready to go because I didn't want to just one song and then nobody has anything else to listen to. I've just been collecting riffs and then building upon that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a pretty talented guy. What do you got to say, Jeff?
Yeah. TTD, Mad Shredder here, brother. That's I think you and we're gonna have to get you into Imminent Rain together. And
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe do like a dueling banjos, like metal shred kind of I don't know, just throwing stuff out there. No, but yeah, man, what you're doing is very cool, very interesting, and yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're happy to play. What would you call it? Like what's kind of your style? You're mixing some very interesting things together.
I think most people call it gent. It's just kind of like a form of prog rock, I guess, or prog metal. I just call it atmospheric metal. I don't know what to name it. Kind of got some synth elements to it.
Yeah, for sure. I dig that, and Imminent Rain does some of that as well. I like the blending of kind of the electronic and the metal stuff. There's definitely an interesting marriage going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool, man. I'm interested to hear what the new year brings.
I think I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction. Actually, I want to do. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the guitar Instagram scene. But a lot of these people post like these really cool kind of like mostly just clean guitar. These little like 30 to 30 second to like 2 minute short clips. I kind of want to do a little bit of that, just clean guitar, kind of showcasing some more mellower stuff, I guess.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, I think you do that just to kind of like, because people are kind of, I don't know, they're more receptive to kind of the quicker bits. Is that why you would do that, like an Instagram thing like that?
I think, yeah, because it's something I can keep uploading content to. I always feel bad like waiting a couple weeks because I don't know, maybe it's just the nature of YouTube. Like people are constantly wanting more to listen to. I know I feel that way with podcasts. Like No White Guilt ends, and I'm like, okay, who's next? So maybe it's kind of that mentality. I just feel like I should be producing more stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm the kind of guy. I'm like, hey, I like people can take their time, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think it'd be cool just in general if we kind of utilize more of that kind of thing, like the little clips and stuff. Like actually, I think it was for Noel who made like the little clip of No White Guilt, he did the sip out of the cup, and he was
yeah. That was so good.
Oh, yeah, that was a group effort. That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah, that was funny because like you did that, then I said, "Hey, what about the sip?" And then somebody said the gulp. Who said the gulp?
The gulp, yeah.
Did you say the gulp?
Yeah, it was him.
Okay, yeah, that was awesome. That was like
that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then now he plays it on his stream sometimes. It's
Oh,
funny.
does he? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he'll play it like after he says something witty or
Yeah.
That's
I've got
awesome.
a
He's
couple
like,
other clips too.
he's like, does that make sense?
I haven't seen that, but that was awesome. It's so funny. Yeah, that was great.
I watched that like 100 times in a
I know,
row because it was just really funny. So yeah, like I think that it's just the nature of like how things are. I think we can make kind of delve into the art of that kind of thing on Instagram, on Twitter, and kind of the art of like giving people those little nuggets to just kind of like to tickle the fancy, so to speak.
Yeah, and it also helps me with mixing and whatnot because I'm still fairly new at that. So sometimes I feel like I should just complete something, whether I like it or not, just so I can have that practice time, mixing levels or EQing stuff. I'm still a beginner.
Well, hey, if you ever, feel free to reach out to people in the community who are doing like for mixing and EQ kind of advice and whatnot, or just to bounce it off somebody. I know that people are doing that kind of thing. So I'm, just throwing that out there. Feel free to do that because it's good to have a second set of ears at least.
There's some weird sound coming. No.
I hear synthesized hair blowing in the wind.
Is somebody driving down the Gold Coast right now?
I wish I was.
The horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah, we're in total. You might have heard it. There is fire, bushfires everywhere. Like Australia is seriously on fire in pretty much every state.
Oh wow!
It's just and a lot of them are intentionally lit. Like they're trying to make believe it's climate change. It's a large percentage of them are intentional.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah. Well, sorry to hear that. I did see some of that on. There was a crazy video where they were like, "This is inside hell." It was like basically like these firefighters in Australia driving through like inferno on both sides. It was wild looking. Yeah. But Synthesized, it's good to finally get to speak to you, my friend. I know we've been going back and forth, and I love the stuff you do. What struck me I didn't realize you were an Aussie at first, but then when I did, I was like, oh, that makes sense because like some of the aesthetic of what you're doing. I was like the Gold Coast, and then like later I was like, oh, not like California coast, like the coast, the Australian coast. But it's cool because it has its own aesthetic. But you've always been really good about your aesthetic with that, like with the Gold Coast album, and then what's the name of the first one? Outrun the Modern World, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I've always really liked it. Kind of had a Mad Max kind of vibe. I thought like the cover a little bit, but anyway, yeah. I just dig that, man. Really dig the work you're doing, and you did your videos were really cool too. I like you did some stuff that was a little. I know you didn't get anything in for the Spooky Short Film Contest, but you had some stuff that had a nice kind of a dark vibe to it on the video front. That was very cool.
Yeah, if there's another one of those next year, I'll get off my ass.
Okay, well there will be there. So I'm telling you, right? We're putting it out there. There definitely is going to be a Spooky Short Film Contest. So, be thinking about it, and we'd love to see what you come up with.
Yeah, I've kind of left my new YouTube channel alone just because of what happened, and I just I keep on thinking that any day now it'll just get. It's funny how they screw with us. Like, I mean, like for example, Jack's channel got shut down, but my remix of his song is still up, and they shut my channel down because of the No White Guilt song, but it's on his channel though. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I guess it's just to try and sow the seeds of division or something. I don't know. It's just annoying. But, I know that this shoot sort of seems to be taking off, but yeah, I'll give it a bit more attention as it grows and as it gets better.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Got any plans for the new year before we add somebody else new to the chat, or?
Yeah, just probably 2 or 3 EPs.
Avoid the fire.
You're not getting rid of me that easy. No.
Yeah, I'm actually going down tomorrow towards the fire area. We're going away camping, but that might change ultimately. The fire might change direction as the winds are pretty full on.
Stay safe, fam. Stay safe.
Yeah. But other than that, just doing the usual. I'll put out another few EPs this year and collab with as many of you as possible.
Hell
Sounds
yeah.
like a good plan to me.
I should mention Zorkwave also is putting together a video clip with one of my tracks as the music, and I'm also I might try and use Nullis, one of his poems. You know, I know he's been doing a lot of those lately. And I think that's a great idea. And I may have found a singer as well. I believe you will know of her by now. She goes by the name Orwa Adele. And we found we found each other on the street, and we're just figuring out sort of.
She sings. She's a singer.
Yeah, and
I follow her on Twitter.
Exactly. Yeah, she's got a lot of experience too in the industry, and just so we're yet to sort of start the ball rolling, but it's the idea's there, and we're just going to see how to go about it.
Cool. I didn't know she sang either. Awesome.
Yeah. And that's all thanks to you guys. I just saw her in a stream, and she just said something. I thought, "Oh, do you sing?" And then it's like, "Oh, follow me on Twitter," and she did. So yeah, it's great. I love when that happens.
Yeah, that's why we're doing what we're doing. You know, I love to see that kind of stuff happen just organically like that.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, happy New Year, and let it be a good one.
Happy New Year. And so we're running out of time, so I'm going to bring in a couple more people. So Syntheside, if there's anything else you'd like to say, and for Noel as well, if there's anything you'd like to say, go ahead and say it so we can bring on some other people, if that's all right.
All right. I just want to say that, we have a lot of work ahead of us. It's, a bit of an uphill battle, but I believe in our ability to come together as a team. We're proving to be a pretty awesome team, and, we're succeeding, I think, and so we have to continue to do that, and also secure the existence of our people and a future for white children.
Hell yeah. And for Noel, I love your work. I love the versatility of what you do. That was the first thing that struck me about you, is that you could do so much. And I heard that Pink Floyd cover on your first version of your Bandcamp or SoundCloud, so we'll have to jam on some Pink Floyd at some point as well.
For sure, yeah. We're going to have a lot of fun this next year here.
Happy days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Later.
Great talking to you, Fornell.
Yeah, it's so great
Fornell.
talking to you. Thank you for all that you do.
Man.
Seriously.
You are the man.
You are.
Thanks. See ya.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say a thank you to whoever it was on Gab that brought me into the WAC sphere. I still don't know who it was, but someone did, and yeah, great. Going forward, fantastic.
It sounds like you're in a war zone. Literally sounds like you're in a war zone.
It does. It does.
Was there some background interference or something?
It sounds very windy. Like
that would be the fan that I've got cooling down the laptop.
Oh, okay.
We thought your house was burning down.
Like, are you in the middle of one of those fires you're talking about?
Not too close to it yet.
Okay, good.
Cheers, man. Good speaking to you.
Man.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Set aside, be safe, stay cool, not on fire.
Yeah. All right, guys. Enjoy the winter.
Night.
Thank you. You
See
too.
you. All right. All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What about traversing the? Do you have anything? Do you have anything you want to add, or traversing the divide?
Just thank Jeff for what he's been doing, and all of you guys for the music you create, different artists. It's just been really good to come across this community. Really great.
Awesome! It's really great to have you in the community as well. You're doing great work, and
appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm happy to have you too. You're a beast. You've been putting some stuff out, and it's really cool. I really like what you've been putting out and everything. And so I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more from you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, my friend. You've been doing great work, and I'm very interested to see what you're doing into the new year. Thank you for being part of it. Wouldn't be the same without you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Everyone's muted. What's happening? Hello.
Okay, let's welcome our new guest, Pharaohs and Tony.
Sorry, guys. I hit the wrong button.
Oopsie. Let's hear from Pharaohs, because the lesser known of the two.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah.
glad to be joining you.
Yeah, sorry to
Yeah.
make you wait so long, Pharaohs. So
Hell.
thank you for being patient with us.
It's no problem.
Yeah.
Is my mic sounding all right?
Yeah, it sounded great. We're happy to have you. It's good to hear your voice because we haven't heard from you either yet. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in creating music and everything.
Well, let's see. I started out mainly being a drummer, which you could probably tell if you just listen to the drums on my music, because I put a lot of effort into the drum parts.
Yeah, for sure. Your drums are wild. I really dig that about your stuff. Eurodyne, I think, is also a drummer, and you guys have like this focus on the percussion, which is very cool.
Yeah, well, I know a little bit of piano, which is why I've actually been able to use some music theory in my music. But of course, I can't actually use any live playing in my music because I don't have the means to record drums, and I don't usually have the piano ability to play the stuff I want to write on a keyboard. So it's weird. Kind of have these live instrumental skills and then don't use them in my electronic music. But you can kind of see the influence, I think. But anyway, I only started making electronic music like 2 years ago, maybe. And I gotta say, everything that I put out before I started putting out music under this name was absolutely terrible. It was. But I've been improving rapidly, so.
Well, hey, thanks for coming clean on that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think the first piece that you've had at the top of your Twitter was Resistance Rising, right? It's like the 10-minute long like opus. And it's interesting to hear that because I mean, I didn't know that you played all these real instruments, but it makes sense because I sat one night because I think you were in the comments of a live stream and I was like, I listened to that whole thing and I was just like, wow, I mean, it's incredibly well composed. So it definitely comes across that musically you understand how to put things together. And it's one of those where it's like there's a lot of nice nuance in the composition to where you don't really come back necessarily to the exact same thing. You know, there's a lot of moving pieces. I personally, I love that kind of stuff. It's really the kind of thing I can sit and listen to over and over and always hear something different in it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I did put a ton of effort into making sure that this 10-minute song wasn't boring for any second of that 10 minutes, because I love long form songs that can keep you interested and then bring back stuff that might have been from 4 minutes ago in the song. But it makes the repetition more powerful when the song is longer and you have a wider variety of interconnected parts. So that's what I was really going for in that. I was going all over the place with time signatures into different feels, just so when I bring you back into the chorus near the end, it had so much more impact. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I think you definitely succeeded. And I would say also that is a very white way of producing music. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But Hyrith, please, I saw that you were unmuting. Please jump in there.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, time signatures, as you guys know, or some of you know, it's not my forte. So I have a lot of respect for that. So yeah, anything to do with music theory and all that kind of stuff. Because yeah, I go by feel. I say I'm not a musician. I'm just a songwriter. So, you know, lots of respect for you musicians out there.
That's an interesting saying. I've never really thought about it that way. But yeah, I admire people who can just sit down and like write a song. It takes me forever to actually get a song into a working state.
And see, it took me forever to get enough skills to be able to write a song, like as far as guitar goes, because I play like, power chords. So even just that, it took me a while to be able to do that and sing at the same time so I could write a song. But I've got the songs and stuff in my head, like I guess the creative juice to write my songs. Just I didn't have enough technical skill, So I'm still always working on that. So it's good to see, people that have the technical skill, because something that I'm not that strong at, it's not my strong suit. So
I'm kind of with Hirith on this, to be honest. I don't really know what I'm doing, so it's always interesting to hear actual people, musicians who actually know what they're talking about. So kudos to you, Pharos. I'm a fan of your work. I love the song you did for the Christmas album. I thought that was just beautiful as well.
Yeah, thanks. I liked making that one because that was the first one where I actually did a live piano part, more or less live. I just, sat down and recorded MIDI from my keyboard. I just wanted to put the human element in there because everything else I have to humanize manually by automating parameters and changing velocity on like piano sample stuff. But that one I really wanted to play myself because I want to get more into becoming less rusty in my piano skills because I've let them sit forever.
Well,
it
was gorgeous. It was really gorgeous what you did. Sometimes a little bit of imperfection, is a good thing, as Hirith will tell me from time to time. So she likes her imperfections even more than I do. So
I'm a perfectionist and an imperfectionist at the same time. I'm like I'm a paradox in that way.
Yeah, the human element in music is really important, which is why everyone really hates autotune most of the time when it makes it sound super fake, because you might as well be making a synth do it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I was just talking to Jack earlier today, or yesterday maybe, and I was like, do you leave your breaths in when you go to edit your vocals? And it sounds like a weird thing because most people are like, well, what do you mean? But like when you record into a microphone, it picks up every single breath and every little sound, every little mouth noise, especially because we're not working with like like super expensive studio equipment. So mine picks up all that, but I tend to leave those breaths in there because I like them. But it's like a matter of preference. So it's interesting because some people do and some people don't. So I just thought it was kind of fascinating, I guess, when you're talking about the human element. So
yeah, I think it really much depends on your style, because with your style, I think it's absolutely suited to not cut anything out, not edit anything, because it's just your raw voice and raw musicianship kind of captured in a moment, I think, is your style. But when I'm doing things, I always will refine down to the minutest detail. If I feel like something could be slightly improved by cutting something, I will do that, because it's kind of the style where I already try to jam in so many things into my songs where it helps to clean up things. And I'm already making electronic music, so I thought it was fine. But the human element in imperfection is still important when it comes to just kind of having some raw emotion in songs, I think.
This is a super. Honestly, we could talk about this all night. This is super interesting. But we have another guest on, and I see we also have Mimmers Burner in the chat. If he wants to come on, he's welcome to. But certainly, we should. Let's. We love you, Ferris. But let's say hello to Tony.
Yeah, Tony's got some. He's, for those of you who haven't heard, Tony is he created the. Well, you want to tell us, Tony, since you're muted? Tell us about yourself. What do we have to look forward to?
I unmuted and spoke at the same time, I thought.
Perfect.
No, thank you for having me on. Happy New Year. Sorry, I'm
Happy
kind of
New Year.
unprepared. I'm slipping away right now. But yeah,
no
Happy New Year.
worries.
All right, I'm in the clear. Good to hear from you guys. What am I telling you about?
tell us about your projects. What's going on? White People's Quarterly.
That's right. Yeah.
Tony, you getting the party started early, or what's going on, bro?
Yeah, I was just in the middle of something, and I did not realize I was in the.
He's like, I'm in the middle of moving right now, guys, but I had to make the stream, so.
No.
Just a couple more boxes. Just kidding. Hey, Tony, great to see you, brother.
Yeah, you too, Jeff. Great to speak with all you guys. I've been in and out. I wanted to know, I'll talk about White People's Quarterly. It's out now. Our website is actually down right now, so I don't think you can actually order it. I don't know if you can look it up on the site, but yeah, that's been out. So it's been out for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Great stuff, including stuff by, of course, Jack White in there. Mama was on earlier, her interview with him. And of course, Jeff's great article. But yeah, that's it for me. It's been R&R ever since,
Isn't there a poem in there by Jared George as well?
There is, yes.
Which is The Great Order. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to read all of that because I ordered my copy and I'm still waiting on it. But the cover is beautiful and I'm super excited to read it. So it'll be amazing.
Yeah, I saw earlier that most of them have shipped now. The company, it's like I ordered mine, kind of the incomplete copy. Forever. Jared actually, he ordered the first issue and it never arrived. But he's the only one I've heard about it.
Can you move a little closer to the mic, maybe? You're a little low.
Can you not
Yeah,
hear me?
it does. It sounds like you're far away, like we're speaking to you through a tunnel, a really long tunnel.
How is that? Is that better?
No, it's still pretty quiet.
I'll try to yell here. Well, Jared, but they've all shipped, so they will hopefully be getting there soon.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I'm excited. And for those of you who haven't checked that out yet, please go ahead and give us your plugs and everything. Is it whitepeoplepress.com or do I have that wrong?
No, that's right. But
it is? Okay, good.
Yeah, but the website is actually down. I don't think we'll be able to get it back up before tomorrow. But
okay.
After that, yeah.
So after tomorrow, I don't think, unless somebody had, was going to rush but it's New Year's Eve. So I'm sure people will be okay with waiting until tomorrow. But yeah, so tomorrow, guys, if you want to order your, the second issue of White People's Quarterly, I suggest you do so. It's going to be awesome.
I actually got kind of sick after Christmas, so I was in my sick bed with fever. I actually read most of it, and Jeff Winston is in there with a hell of a long article, and some of our other bros are in there. Donald Kent, who couldn't make it tonight, he's got a poem and some artwork, and there's a lot of really nice poetry.
Yeah, I'm jealous you got to read it first.
Tony, you should get in touch with our boy Nullis, another fine poet in the community.
Yeah, he reached out to me the other day, I believe. We have something in the works with that. We're looking forward to featuring his poetry. He's Abnormocracy or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, Abnormocracy.
Yeah, we're planning on. And if I could just say, I wanted to know what movies Jeff and Lord Wolfshield are doing. This is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's correct. Tomorrow we're gonna start with The Last Jedi. That was Lord Wolfshield's idea. This is his whole show. He's the mastermind behind this. I'm gonna put all this on him now that he's not here. No, but we're gonna do that one. I'm not even a Star Wars guy, but it's gonna be fun to make fun of it. Yeah, I tried to watch it twice, and I was like, man, wow. But no, it'll be a fun watch. So we're gonna start with that, and just in general, we're just gonna dissect from a comical way, communist propaganda, because that's what it deserves. So looking forward to that. But yeah, Tony, appreciate the work you're doing on the magazine, my friend, and glad you got in touch with Nolus. I was talking to him, and I actually had an action item to get you guys in contact, but it sounds like he already reached out, which is good. I was in a food coma over the holidays, so I forgot.
That's great. Yeah, I'd love to see that. That's great. Yeah, Nolus is awesome. So he does amazing poetry.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. We also invited Snow Shadow on tonight, but unfortunately, I don't think she could make it. I don't know if she was in the chat. I haven't really been following, but Snow Shadow is another fine poet in the community.
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah, she's great.
Really amazing, really amazing.
And one other note on that is that I brought this up earlier, but Nolus is going to be hosting the WAC poetry show. And he's going to be bringing on our, poets to feature, and then people who don't want to read their stuff, we can have other people come on, guest readers read their stuff. And he's also, it's going to be kind of a 3-part thing. The first part of it will be also like featuring a past poet, which is something that Tony does a good job of with like literature in the White People's Quarterly. Is featuring like a kind of a nationalist, someone kind of leaning our direction, at least in our biospirit, so to speak, in our essence, a poet from that era. So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Nolus's show. We don't have the first one scheduled yet, but I don't know if you had a chance to talk about that, Tony. But yeah, we can talk, offline.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, I did hear that earlier, and I think that's a really great idea. And yeah, I think more just like you guys, or if you focus on music, I think we need a lot more focus on kind of literature, and poetry is a big part of that. So yeah, that sounds great. And I will hop off. I just want to say one thing, that a lot of us who are in this, like, I think I got into this in like 2014, and I was banging my head against the wall for years because there was so much focus on political stuff. And I'm so happy to see, especially Jeff is at the forefront of this, to move into this cultural realm with music and poetry and art. So it's really fantastic. I think we'll obviously see more of that in the new year, and I think that's so important, because I just hate this like hyper focus on politics stuff.
I'm totally with you, Tony.
Totally with you.
Definitely, because it can be so black pilling sometimes. When you focus too much on current events and politics and stuff, and all the negative things that are going on. And you get to a point to where you're just like, gosh, is anything ever going to go right for us? And you can get to a point where you feel sort of hopeless. And I think that the cultural side to things is where it's at, when we start to create and build on that creativity and network together and create a community based on that, instead of based on the negative things that are happening,
Absolutely.
And it's been a huge
You're doing a really great job for the movement. Absolutely. And thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for featuring our artists.
Of course, yeah. And we will be doing more in the spring, so if anyone wants to reach out about that, I guess, so we don't have to combine more seasons in the future, it's probably best to get started earlier than later. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you, Jeff, Hireth, Jack, for kind of putting this on. Everyone else who has been on. It was great to hear Seaver Hamlin and the Lord Wolfshield himself, among all the others. So happy New Year to you all.
Subversive himself.
Oh, stop it. But yeah, it was so great to have you, Tony. Thank you for joining us. I totally respect what you're doing. I love the work you're doing. I'm super excited to get my next issue. I'm collecting them all, by the way. So I've got my first copy, so that I'll have my second edition. It's in the mail. So,
We appreciate
whenever it gets here, it'll be part of my collection.
Soon, hopefully, hopefully.
Happy New Year's. We have a special guest here as well, members. So let's see if Ferris wants to say something before he goes, and let's talk to. Let's hand it over to members because he's been waiting a little while. So Ferris, you got anything you'd like to add?
A couple things. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see about this album that I've been teasing forever. That I'm still working on it, I promise. It might be out at some point in the next decade. And
decade goals right here. Future decade goals. Yeah. I like it.
20s.
Yeah. And speaking of the next decade, I was just, thinking about what it's going to be. And I don't think anyone can really predict it. It could go really great for us, or it could go really bad. But I think we just need to be trying our hardest. Yeah, no black pills here. Okay. But I think if we all can work together and keep pushing a positive message for our people, I think we'll be good. I think it'll all work out in the end. But that's about all I had to say. So I was glad to join you all here.
Happy New Year. Glad to have you on board, brother. Hale.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you. It's great to hear from you and great to have you as part of our community and everything. And I totally agree. I think, we all just kind of keep working on our own stuff. We can work on creating music or poetry or whatever it is that we happen to be good at. And then we can maybe branch out a little bit and work with other people on other things and incorporate that as well, kind of strengthen the web, so to speak. I think that'll help us all in the long run. That's like what we can really do as individuals. You know what I mean? So it's a good way to look at it for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Pharos. This is our decade. I'm just gonna throw it out there. There's no question about it. We're taking it. We're not leaving it up to chance.
I like it.
But thank you, my friend. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and Happy New Year. I can't wait to hear that album. You're on the Jeff Winston timeline of production, so
me too. But as long as you're happy with it, then it'll be good to release. It doesn't have to be.
That's a slow timeline, guys. Like, no, choppity chop. Chop.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I put out a song like way too fast. I probably should slow down. So I respect it, but just it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you are somewhat
get on Jack's timeline. It's the happy medium. But yeah, lovely to have you on, Ferris, and Happy New Year, and we'll speak soon, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and Happy New Year.
Okay, we have a special guest on this evening, one of my own kin from the UK. So, you there, members?
I am indeed. Happy New Year, guys, and thanks for having me on this stream with so many very talented people. Some I didn't know about either. So, what's that? Sorry,
I said lovely to meet you. Sorry to keep you up so late.
Oh, I'm always up late, and it's great to meet you too as well. When Hirif told me first told me that you were Irish, I take a step back there because your musical style is a little bit different.
Well, I think Jeff did as well, so you weren't the only one. But I really enjoyed your stream last night. I caught the first hour and a half. It was very, I really enjoyed it. Nice to hear some. Nice to I sort of got to know you in that stream last night. It was very comfortable and easy.
Was it 2 nights ago? 2 nights ago?
Last night, or maybe it was 2 nights ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 nights. Yeah, well, thanks for that. Yeah, I enjoyed doing it. Glad you turned up. I tried my best to keep on top with all the chat. We did a little bit better, but we didn't expect to go on so long. But we had so many questions that I kind of wanted to get them all. I wanted to answer them all so we could move on to the next thing. So no, but I think they're being pretty successful, and I'm pretty much an open book in many ways in the way I talk. So yeah,
I think I did ask a question like, how long did it take to grow your beard? But
well, I've had it trimmed so long now. I've had a beard for quite a while, so I think it only took me about. I was a little bit younger then. It only took me about a year maybe to go at this length.
Holy God! You're
Well,
a
I thought it
total
was
Chad.
I thought it was a
You're a
great
total
stream
Chad.
too. And so for people who didn't get to check that out, where is a good place for them to listen to that?
It's on our Libri channel at the moment. We've put a lot of ideas up, but it will be up on our BitChute channel next week. We'll put it up a week later. We're just trying to get people over to Libri because we think it's a real challenger to YouTube, or will be in the coming years.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think I retweeted that on Twitter as well. So
Yes, you did. Thank you for that.
Yes. Excellent. So yeah, that was a really great stream. So if you guys missed it, then I highly suggest you check that out. Mimir's Bruner Q&A. Yeah, tell us about like what you've got planned for the new year.
We've got a lot planned. One subject that might interest you. I've been meaning to finish this for a while, but we've got a project on the importance of the artistic creation. I mean, as we were talking, as you were highlighting there about what you can do. Well, art is a foundation of culture, in my opinion, and it's something very specific and unique to the Northern Europe, especially the Northern European, but Europeans in general. If you look at from Greece to the UK, to Britain, to Ireland, to the Scandinavian countries, you think about how many talented artists, how many talented writers that have come out of this era. And what I do, like we do all the time, is I'm taking that back to even just how we lived. I believe in the past we lived more artistically, almost. So there's a big project going on with that we hope to get finished in the new year. Almost kind of a follow-up to Consequence of Cowardice, in my opinion. Whether it'll do so well, I don't know. You can never tell with these things. But that's one big project. We're going to set on a more political channel too, but we're going to keep it safe. But we'll leave that one as there's no black pills tonight. So we'll leave what exactly I'm going to be discussing on there. But yeah, so we've got a lot planned. More live streams, more videos, more articles. Just more all around. The battle's on, like Jeff says. It's going to be our decade, but we've got to make that happen. We can't predict the future, but we've got our part to play in it. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I love that. Consequence to Cowardice. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what you come up with.
It was originally called The Culture Creators because that's what the artists are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing is like, if we want change, we can't just expect it to happen on its own, or we can't wait for someone to come and do it for us. We're going to have to start ourselves, and it starts with us, and it starts with us working together and building community and all of that. So, and art and culture is such a big part of that as well. It reflects the things that are going on around us, so.
Music is a massive influencer. It can change your emotions on the spot. You put on a favorite song, not just from the past or whenever, and you can just be entranced by it. I mean, when I write the pieces, I often listen to pieces of music or certain music. Jeff was talking about getting old poets on. Ernst Moritz Arndt, the German poet, writer. I'd love to see some English renditions of his work. For sure. I often listen to his poems. They're done by a great band, Ledger de Heels. They do some, they're in German, but they do some renditions of his poetry, and they're really inspiring, really powerful. Sorry, Jeff, you want to? I can see that you're muted.
I was just going to, sorry, it's not to interrupt Jeff, but I would just, like, you're in good company because, you produce these sort of short video. Not all of them are really short, but you produce these sort of artistic films, and you have this sort of great oratory, sort of compelling, and they're works of art. What you do, so I think you're in good company with musicians or you
Well,
know,
yeah, I mean, we use we've got the talented Hallinder who writes music specifically for our pieces, and we're blessed to have him. I mean, he's a great talent,
He
and
is. I love his work.
we
Just
have
so I said that.
Riss who does all the video editing. He's got a great artistic mind. I mean, we work very openly. There's no control. I write and orate it. I pass it on, and each pass it on to Hallinder generally next. He composes a musical backdrop for it. Then we pass it on to Riss, who then who then brings together the video. That we trust each other. We've got a good we kind of work together well. We don't have to impose anything on each other. We're all free to add our own little bits to it. So yeah, it's a pretty. The way it worked out was by chance, but it's been a great experience, and I've made two very, very good friends.
I love that.
Great. Well, you make really powerful work. That's all I have to say. And I think all artists can appreciate the artistry that goes into your videos, and I think you have the perfect voice, the sort of commanding, authoritative voice. So it just works really well for your videos.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Yeah, hope so.
Yeah, nice to be with you, my friend.
And you, Jeff.
Yeah, man. I know we've been on a couple streams together. I think over on Tap, at least Tap, and maybe once on Red Ice, maybe at the same time. But I don't know. If we haven't really got to speak necessarily much to each other. But yeah, I really appreciate the work you're doing, and just to second everything that they said. And I also wanted to congratulate you on the West Message to the West contest. You had an excellent piece that you submitted to that, and congrats on placing in that. That was awesome.
Yeah, we placed. Yeah, and thanks for that. Yeah, and it's actually funny that I was actually thinking of how to get artists together as well, because, like I say, one of the pieces, and what I believe is, I mean, I'm no artist or talented in I can't compose or write music. I can't write poetry or anything like that. I just write how I feel, and it comes out. I'm more of a romantic sentimentalist. And I just speak, I just write in that way. I have no formal training at all. But the artistic world really interested me. And as I was thinking about it, I was talking to Hallinder about it a bit before, and Riss. And then I saw your project come up, Jeff. And I was like, okay, someone's doing it. So I can put that aside and let you go for it. So I'm really glad that you've done that. I think getting our artists together and out there is, like I say, we're the culture that is the culture. That is what creates it. You think of all the scenes through the ages. What are they defined by? Their music. They're literally defined. The punk rock era in the 80s, the 60s. It's defined by music. It's defined by the arts. And if you go back further, it's more the arts of maybe the writers or the sculptors or the painters. But for the European, his culture is very much defined by his artistic expression. And I think we need all our artists together and start creating, producing, bringing people in that way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's interesting that you put it that way, that like you saw a need for that kind of thing. And
definitely,
I've seen that. And I saw a need for kind of like what Jason Kuna's doing. And I was like, he started doing that, and I was like, oh, good. Someone is doing that now. He's speaking to that white well-being, almost like a kind of a seer preacher type, and I was like, we need that. So that's taken care of. So now I can go over here and kind of focus on what is more my niche anyway, which is the artistic realm. But, and I think too, what you're doing is, you might not consider yourself an artist, but I think what you're doing is artistic for sure. And also just, the ability to being a great orator is an artistic form that's very important to what we're doing. And you do have a great voice and a great delivery and how you lay things out and how you write it out. So, I mean, that's absolutely as important as the songs and the stories and the films. But also to that point, I agree with you. That's what people, that's kind of how they remember things. That's how they see things. They think back to that song, they think back to the film, they think back to the story about that era. They're not thinking about the statistics or the actual historical thing. And that's just how the human mind works.
It does.
So we have to just go with what it is. And yeah, I agree. And just keep doing what we're doing and having this this cross collaboration with our intellectual, our artistic people, and all of our people who support across the entire sphere of white well-being, just continue doing exactly what we're doing right now here. And it's great and an honor to have you on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great to be here. Yes, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to say I love hearing about the process because, it's a perfect example of collaboration and how like a good collaboration, how well that works. And it kind of contributes to the conversation of why there's so little infighting in this sphere that we have here. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I've seen anything at all where we're actually fighting together, in the White Art Collective and stuff. And I think it's because we all pour our hearts into this. We all like know that we're on the same side and we want to help each other. We're not competing against each other. We're trying to work together to get our message heard. You know what I mean?
That is actually kind of a good question. Like, because Jeff, you can probably attest to this. Like, we've all been like so nice to each other. There's been there really hasn't been any infighting in our little pack, our community. Where do you think that is?
I think it's because the Mr. Rogers of white nationalism. But just kidding.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's I don't know. I think that what we're doing, so I've kind of run a flag up the pole kind of in a way. And I do curate for anybody who thinks that I just put everything out there that is sent to me, or like I'm curating and I'm trying to bring people together that it makes sense. It is largely self-selected, but it is also a matter, I think, of having a moral and a moralizing core. And I think that that's kind of what was missing, at least in the American alt-right 1.0, to be very specific there. Like there was a lot of, you got to have a moral core, people who genuinely care about their people. That's huge. And then also people who understand the importance of moralizing, like we have to confront the darkness, but we also have to keep building each other up because we're constantly under attack. So, I honestly, I just feel like we're kind of blessed that we have had such a good core group of people. And that's the thing too, build that moralizing core and then other people kind of assimilate to it, and also other good people are drawn to it. That seems to be kind of what's happening.
But it's good. It's like, we've had a few detractors that have sort of, for our T-shirts and whatnot. But we're kind of a loyal bunch, and we don't tolerate that. We actually don't really tolerate infighting almost, or detractors, sort of in our artistic community anyway. And anyone who sort of does that stuff is really not welcome. Would you kind of agree, or?
Oh yeah,
I would. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. We want to build each other up, not tear each other down,
But there are people that do, and people that moan about what others are doing. I know what I'd rather be doing, because I know what creates the new world, the world that we're looking for, and that's doing. It's action. It's not constantly trying to pull somebody else's down because they said something that you might not fully agree with, or they didn't do something exactly as you would. If people like that, I just say, go create yourself. Make your voice louder than mine.
Absolutely.
If you're worried about what I'm doing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, in a time where we're, it's like, it's hard for, I guess, I'm trying to think of how to word it. I guess our people are losing, it's hard enough for us to find our sense of identity. You know what I mean? So when we create and stuff, it kind of helps us to do that. It helps us get in tune with something deep within our, I guess, what No White Guilt would say is our biospirit. We get in touch with that, and it's like part of our inner nature. And so when we collaborate based on that kind of energy, it's like we can all sort of connect in that same way, and it helps to like strengthen our biospirit. If that's, I know that's getting a little
I think another reason why we don't there's less attacking in the artistic world is because I know when I first started writing and we first started producing the videos and even just my articles, there's a lot of nerves. You pour your heart and soul into it, and you don't know if I could I could put a video out there, and someone go, you soppy idiot, you know what I mean? And it's the internet, right? So I was expecting a hell of a lot of backlash, and I'd prepared myself for it, but when you put yourself out there in a very emotional way with your artistic work, whether it be a song or whatever it is, I think you appreciate when somebody else puts themselves forward, and you appreciate maybe the nerves and fears that they have, and you want to make sure it's okay. Come on, just keep creating.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really interesting point because we've all been. I can speak for myself personally. Like I was pretty nervous about putting my stuff out. I'm pretty sure Hirith was as well, and the welcome I got into sort of the White Art Collective community was incredibly surprising to me. I have to say, and it's been nothing but positive. It's we try to build each other up and support each other, and we don't tolerate anybody who comes in and who's not adding value, who's just there to criticize. We don't have time for those people whatsoever.
If you want to criticize, the best way to if I disagree with somebody, if I've got a point to make that's different to theirs, I don't need to attack their point. I can promote my point, my perspective, and I think that's a healthy way. Compete with each other in healthy ways like that by pushing our points rather than trying to bring somebody else's point down. You don't need to do that. I don't believe anyway.
I agree, and I think that there's different. I mean, like if we're talking like straight up insulting or kind of like that kind of criticism, if someone genuinely has some constructive criticism for you and they think they just like they want something, they know that this could be better, that could be better, and they word it in a way that's actually constructive, and that's totally different. But when people are out there like attacking each other because they don't agree with them, or they don't like the way they're presenting this argument, or
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Well, most artistic people are their own worst critics anyway, from what I've experienced. You can point something out to them, but they already know it. If there's an error, it. In the Come Home that we did for the NCC, I say now, and then I say now in the next sentence, and it just annoys me. It's still in there, and I hear it, and every time I hear it, I think it ruins the whole piece. Most people, they go, "What are you on about?" But that's because we're exceptional critics of ourselves. But I think what Jeff's creating here and what you two guys have got into as well early and become prominent parts in it. Is really great, and I hope to see a lot more coming out of you guys in the new year, and maybe some collaborations, maybe some kind of get together where we can promote each other, and in doing so, promote the great European peoples and their artistic nature.
Yeah, same to you. I'm looking forward to what you're going to be coming out with. I second that absolutely. So I think we've gone a little bit over our time period here, just to throw that out there. Should we end on that note, you guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
is there anything else that anybody else would like to say as far as the coming year?
Everybody, is there anybody who didn't get on in the chat? Because that would be a tragedy.
Everybody's been on.
Everybody's been on.
Mike, let me double check again. But yeah, everybody's been on.
Hey, one quick thing. I did this long article that Jack pointed out in the White People's Quarterly. It's about art criticism, and I think
there you go.
I think that is an important part. And actually, Man of European Descent, who I don't know if he is not on Twitter anymore. I was actually going to bring him on.
I think he disappeared.
Yeah.
He vanished because I tried to contact him when we did our last Saturday Night live stream.
I don't think he was banned or anything. I just think he.
Yeah, but if he hears this, like we were talking, and he was wanting like some like input to sharpen his skills. So what I laid out in that article is I'm kind of trying to. One of the first things I say is like in group, out group. Like out group is they're not gonna understand our art. We don't even have to take them seriously. So like, my point being, I think it's worthy to check that out. I want to do kind of like a discussion panel like this on art criticism, like serious actual art criticism, but that's something I think we can do in the future. Wait, is friendship here?
Since friendship just turned up, let's bring him in.
Yeah, let's bring
We gotta
Saint
bring him
Friendship
in.
in.
We gotta bring him in.
Yeah, anyway, blah blah blah, we'll talk about that next year, but Saint Friendship's here.
Hello, I'm
Blah,
sorry.
blah,
I thought I was in line this whole time, just like waiting. I didn't realize that I
You
wasn't.
gotta click the button. You gotta click the button.
Yes.
Well, it wouldn't be
Are
White
you
Art Collective
kidding
without
me?
some technical
Are
issues.
you kidding me?
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? No, I'm just kidding. You're right. We've had some technical issues. Okay, it's true. Good to
So-
speak with you, my friend.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome Saint Friendship.
good.
For just on a side note for what Jeff just said, get White People's Quarterly, read his article, and
like
read Jack White's interview, and all the other amazing stuff that's in there, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's perfect
Moral
timing
of the story.
because I'm super excited to read Jeff's article in particular because I feel like it's a hard thing to have such like an open community, and like it can be hard to like find the room for critique. But I think that's been part of the success of the left is that critique, at the very least, it gets people talking, but it also pushes the art further. So I'm really excited to read your essay on that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Friendship, for saying that. Yeah, that's like we first have to build each other up, and I just want to say too, like I curate, so like I don't play anything that isn't already really good. Like it's there. There's people I haven't played because I'm like I want to have kind of a more development side for artists, but right now we have to put our best foot forward. So like all of you guys are super talented, and that's why we play it, because I'm like, this is really good. So if a normie tunes in, they're like, whoa, what is this little stream with all these like amazing people I've never heard of, So exactly what Friendship said, like we do need some level of like healthy internal critique to sharpen our skills. And we also need there's a mechanism for legitimizing our artistic movement to the broader public. You have to have an art, like, excuse me, people read movie reviews, people read Rolling Stone. You have to have a mechanism that legitimizes that art and make it's in kind of an institutionalized legitimism. What? I just made that up. Okay. But yeah, you have to have that for people more broadly to accept it. So we got to do that. Okay, someone take over before I.
What did he say?
I said legitimism.
Legit. We're even making up words here. That's how creative we are in the White Art Collective. We're gonna write our own dictionary. But yeah, no, I mean the cool thing is that like we all have different styles too. Very different styles, but I love that. So it's like it gives us, we have a different way and a different mood to spread our message and what it is we want to say from our perspective and in the most honest way that we can, because I guess in mainstream music we can't really say it's honest, can we? So it's nice that we can have our perspective heard.
Anyway, let him talk. He's been waiting.
Oh no! Don't let me talk.
Yeah, we want to hear you.
So Saint Friendship, tell us what do you have planned for the coming year, or what have you accomplished in the past year?
I haven't accomplished a whole lot other than like personal life stuff. Like actually most of the music that I sent to Jeff was written like long before or right before I even found Right Art Collective, and I haven't really done a whole lot since then. There's just been like a lot of technical issues and I don't know, like a lot of thinking that I've had to do, because for a long time I was writing music primarily for myself that nobody really listened to, and it's different to feel like you have an audience and like have a responsibility to like say something with that time that you're taking from them. But talking to you, like you and I, Hyreth, have spoken a lot over like the past month, and it's been really inspiring. And I like the whole like neo folk thing that you and Jack do, and I think like that's a sort of vibe that I would have gone for maybe like 10 years ago when I was starting out. But I reached like my sort of musical limitations, and then veered off into like a production heavy side of things. So like I'm really excited for the potential for collaboration to like open up these other avenues that, and I'm sure this is the same for other people too, like avenues that feel like they're closed off to us as individuals, but as a group we can express.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good. It's good to like have other people to bounce ideas off of too. You know, it helps you refine and shape things in ways that you wouldn't normally do on your own. You know,
Yeah.
You can refine and you can self-critique, but it's a different sort of thing.
And to be able to share things while they're in process with people who get where you're coming from is like super huge to, I think, getting that motivation to actually go through instead of just it being all alone in your room.
Yeah, well put.
But I would like to take this opportunity, because I've been listening to your album that you're working on, that you have that playlist on YouTube for like the past couple days, and I don't know, it's just like you did like a lot of great work over this past year, and I don't know, you should be really proud of yourself, because that's a super cohesive album that I think will stand the test of time. Like I think in 5 years it's going to be just as fresh and exciting as it is right now. So if anybody hasn't listened to that,
don't make me cry.
well, if anybody hasn't listened to that as a whole thing, as at one time, I definitely suggest you do that, because the music really sort of blossoms as you listen to it as one piece.
Saint Friendship's going to be doing the cover art for this, by the way. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some of what he's working on, and it's exactly what I was hoping for. So, and I didn't even have to like say anything about. I didn't even really. I had some vague idea conceptually of what I wanted, and he like comes up with something that's like perfect. So
well, we share that bio spirit, fam.
yeah, exactly. So this is what collaboration is all about, you guys.
I've seen a sneak peek, and I can totally confirm. It's amazing.
Oh, cool. Also, I know I had Hyreth relay this message to you, Jack, but I really need you to finish that Mother Clara song that you posted and then took away from us.
That was relayed.
Yeah.
Working on it, fam.
Yeah, that was haunting and amazing. I love that.
Thank you. I really enjoyed your latest release as well. I'll say no more about that.
Thank you.
You already know.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I admire your work. I respect your work a lot.
Thank you. Do you listen to Modest Mouse by any chance, Jack?
Nope.
Okay,
No.
that's just like my touchstone for who you sound most like to me. So I just wondered if that was a direct reference.
I'll check it out. I've never heard of it. I'll type it in, and I'll check it out.
Okay, well, I've actually got to bounce, but it was a pleasure talking to y'all, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Saint Friendship. It was great to have you.
Yeah,
and thank you for all the kind words. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Friendship.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to say for the coming new year? Mimir's
I have a little point.
Yeah, please.
And we've got to remember, I want to speak to the audience here, that they need to remember that you guys, all the artists, the talented singers, songwriters, writers, whatever they are, that have appeared on this show tonight, are all doing this on no budget. Let's be realistic. And if you like what you hear, support them, because I guarantee 100% that money, anything you give them is going to go on new equipment and new production value just to increase their ability to make. I mean, I brought a Heroes album recently, and I'm going to start buying more over the coming weeks and months as I get money in. I'm not a wealthy man, but I like to support what's good and promoting good things in our community. So please support these guys by they're not giving. You're getting the album, right? I mean, I know a lot of people sell their albums in different places. So that would be my message coming into the year. We've got to support what we want to see. Money's a powerful tool. And the more we support our own, the better the production quality is going to get, the better they can get new mics, new equipment. There's lots of things. We just spent a lot of money ourselves on things, and we wouldn't have been able to do the live streams if it wasn't for the donations, or not as effectively as we are. So that would be a point that I would like to make there. Yeah.
That's a point well made, and thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And
It's a beautiful album. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate it. And I mean, I put my first album out for free because for me, it's like more about getting the message out there and stuff, but it is hard to work on no budget. And a lot of us have full-time jobs too, so it's like time is a big issue as well. So time, equipment. So any way that you can help support, our community, it'll help us tremendously.
And also, I've noticed something with the artists in our community. They're more prolific than any of the mainstream. People are you're bringing out songs, you and Jack, almost once a week or every 2 weeks. I mean, it's insane the amount of actual content you're putting out there, the amount of actual songs or writings. I mean, if you look at mainstream artists, they bring an album out every couple of years, and they need time to go away and artistically play. We're showing what artists really are. They're naturalists. They don't need to worry about it too much. They just produce.
Right.
So,
yeah. It's like, it's part, you just can't help but to create sort of thing. But I think a lot of these mainstream artists, they have studios with 50 to 100 people working on their stuff, fine tuning every little sound. And it's and until it becomes something that it's unrecognizable for if they were to just sing in a room in front of you, you'd be like, wait, who's this?
They get caught up in their own hype, I think. I think people like you guys are more realistic, and you want to produce, and you're not doing it for the money, because let's face it, there's no money to be made, in our community. We're doing it because we love it, and we want to help our people in any way we can. So, like I say, please support these guys. They need it for a new mic or whatever it is they need, whatever bit of equipment. It all helps.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's well said. And it also goes to, back to talking about Liberplay and new platforms like that. The more that we can, I guess, try to find these alternatives, it's the better off we're going to be in the long run, because we'll have other ways, if we can build our own websites and these other sort of, musical platforms and stuff, it'll definitely help. So when we get banned from YouTube, we won't be like, oh my gosh, everything's gone, So
I mean, we sell Hallinder's music on our site directly. I take no cut, but Hallinder's a pain in the butt in many ways, because he won't take the money that we get from his album sales. So he donates it because he's a beautiful guy, really, really amazing man, really beautiful person for sure. But it's not that hard to do, to set up a website to sell it. I can help anybody if they wanted to do it. It's quite simple with this modern technology. And I'm a complete tech idiot, and I managed to have a website that's semi-functional at least.
Yeah, we know. Anyone who watched the stream the other night knows that.
Not true. Hey, muting and unmuting is hard to remember to do.
You're muted.
You're trying to maneuver all these other things. It's it's the easiest thing to forget.
No, I've got a lot to learn, but I'll get there, and I have a good team behind me. So
he's just teasing you, anyways.
No, it was funny. I enjoyed it, actually, and I didn't unmute at the end. You can hear me typing. The best was on the first stream, because it was my first one. I was even more nervous. And at the end, I forgot to unmute when I played the outro thing, and then I go really loud.
Hey, what I'm pushing for is that we all need technical people to do the technical stuff, so we can just host our shows. I think that would be nice. Just saying. And sir, I appreciate you saying about the people donating whatever. Again, we're not the grift, right, or any of that crap, but it's just
it's not donating. They're paying for a product, especially an album or a magazine like you're producing. That, I mean, like Tony was producing. It's a product, and you've got to support that. I think sometimes by giving something I've learned in business, small business that I've done, is that when you give things away, people start to not value it, sadly. It's a real sad, and we've tried to help people in certain things we've done in the real world. And when you give things away, they take it or leave it. They don't show up to appointments or whatever it is. When you start making it, they have to pay for it. It suddenly becomes exclusive and it suddenly becomes hyped. I don't know why that is. I wish it was different, but it's something to remember. Once you've established your base, people are willing to pay because they're getting something in return. And we have to give value for value. You know, there has to be an exchange.
Yeah, totally agree. And we actually have a store, whiteartcollective.com, our store over there. We got a bunch of music, we got shirts, we got magazines. And I think because we're getting kicked off Teespring, we're going to probably have to put more shirts on there.
Well,
but
with us shirts, we get them printed at a local printer, and I get them sent here and I deliver them.
Yeah. No,
they
that's
come
what
from my house, you know.
No, that's what I'm doing with we have a WAC like limited edition shirt that we put out. Same thing. Like we had them printed locally. I'm more interested in doing it that way. We cut out all these weird, international conglomerates. Yeah. Screw these people. Like, let's just do it ourselves. I want to reprint the shirts ourselves. We need to get into that. Like, let's print our own books, magazines, shirts. That's the next level. But
well, that's an artistic, there's a lot of artistic people in that kind of thing. I mean, it'd be great to reach out to some of those guys, because they'd get paid, they get work, so I know whenever I use anybody for a product that we're going to sell or whatever, I want to pay them a fair price because and that's why I try to only use people within our circles, if you will.
Likewise, absolutely.
Yeah. So I totally agree. I think that we definitely need to do more stuff like that too. So call for t-shirt makers, website creators, all of these things that we let's see, tech people, anybody in our community that's good at this stuff that would love to help out, message some of us, get up with us on Twitter, whiteartcollective.com. There's So we're always looking for that. That's a new way to collaborate, and help strengthen our community. But yeah, so on that note, I think we've only gone an hour over our time period, which is fine. It is New Year's
This
Eve.
has been so much fun, though.
It has been so much fun, and I'm so glad that we kind of got to bring so many people on and get to know each other a little bit. We'll definitely have to make a habit of this and do this more often because it's been awesome. I've loved to be able to hear from people that we haven't heard from yet, and it's interesting to hear what people are working on. And so, is there anything else that anybody else would like to say?
I have one last thing, and I swear this is it. Okay, the Political Prisoners album, we're doing that in the new year. That's the next big project, probably due in late February, early March. Also, I think it'd be fun to have a game show. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I think it'd be fun to have a show. I think what is this program called? StreamYard. It would be cool to have almost like a Hollywood Squares type game show. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I'm just planting these seeds as I like to do.
What does that mean? What's Hollywood Squares?
Unwashed. I think Unwashed did a sort of pub quiz last night.
Oh, did he? Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did a quiz, quiz stream.
It's kind of a British thing, a pub quiz. I don't know if you have it in the States.
We do, yeah. We have a thing like that. Hollywood Squares is I just think of that because that's how it looks with this layout. But I'm just throwing it out there because I think a game show would be really funny and fun, and people would dig that. I think we need, we absolutely, obviously the artistic, but just some goofy fun stuff like that, I think would really land well with a lot of people. I'm just throwing that out there in the new year.
I'm for that. Sounds good. But yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say. Mimirs Bruner, do you have anything else to say? He might be off taking quite a little break there. Well,
it's been lovely.
It has been lovely.
Everybody, you gonna talk over me?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Well, I was just gonna say it's been lovely talking to everybody, and it's just been we didn't mean it to go over, but it was too much fun. So thanks to everybody who came on. Syntheside, For Null, Imminent Range, Versing the Divide, PCAT, George Birdie. It's been wonderful.
Eros, Syntheside.
Eros, Sand Friendship.
Same, yeah.
I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I'm sorry.
Did you say Imminent Rain, George Birdie? Okay. Yeah.
Philosophicat, did we say that? Did I miss that?
I think so.
Symphonicat or
Symphonicat, yes, too. Same, yeah. But yeah, thank you for everybody for joining us on the stream. Thanks for joining us in the chat. We appreciate all of you listeners as well. It's been a blast, and
yeah, we even got. Oh, sorry, Seaver. I forgot Seaver. Big shout out.
Oh my
Seaver.
God.
Thank you so much. You're part of the community. We love you.
And thank you, Laurel, too. She's been posting some links and stuff in the chat. I did make her a mod, and thank you so much for
Laurel.
like
She's our girl.
just embracing that role. I just did that just because. I mean, you didn't have to do that, so thank you so much for doing that and everything.
Yeah,
I
here's
appreciate
in
it.
the chat. People like
You guys mean a lot
Sarah
to us.
and Adele. Is she in there? And
Yes, she was. She was.
we love you all. We love you all. There's Watch Rider. I know him.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we love you all, basically.
We do. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in.
New Year.
We hope you have a happy new year, and we're looking forward to an amazing 2020 and an amazing coming decade. We'll all work together and we'll grow stronger. So that's what it's all about, right?
Woo! Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Oh,
Year.
and that's some horse and Mama. Have a happy New Year.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
Members Bernard, do you want to say goodbye?
I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Happy
Excellent.
New Year.
Have a great
Happy
one.
New Year.
Thanks for coming on. You've been awesome. We love you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much.
me, man. Thanks for having me.
Nighty
Good night,
night, all.
guys.
Night.